Welcome in. It's To the Echo Radio Show. I'm your host, Nick O'Kelly. With me, Derek Daisy. How's it going, Derek?
It's going pretty well, Nick. How about you?
I'm doing pretty well. Been a good week. Glad to be back in the studio. KineticHiFi.com. Glad you're here with us. Join us in the chat box. You know, Derek, these days, you can also follow us on Spreaker.com. As well as the iTunes store, because we're there too. We're really a global show.
Yeah, well, only as global as the people that listen to us, which is, I think, all of our friends, our family. Yeah, so we want to thank the O'Kelly family, Daisy family, and thanks a lot for listening in.
And we're glad you guys are here, because without you, we would not be.
Yes.
Does your dad listen now?
Sometimes. I think he's caught, like, the beginning of it, but he doesn't have an iPhone or anything, so it's not like he can take it with him. He has to, commit to sitting at the computer for 3 hours, and he hates technology, so.
I see. Yeah. Technology is a very scary thing.
Well, it is when you don't know how to use it, and I'm not going to teach him how to do it. He's too impatient, so, yeah. Sorry.
Speaking of technology, we were mentioning just before we started that the president has laid claims to perhaps one of the greatest tech companies in the world, with Tim Cook being at the State of the Union address this week.
Yeah, that was interesting. I think the only reason why, like, somebody made a mention that he hangs out, or most people that sit in that area are people who are going to be spoken about in a speech.
Oh, okay.
And Tim Cook just so happened, his company, Apple, is going to be bringing supposedly some jobs to America, building a certain Mac. We don't know which one yet for sure, but yeah, so he's trying to bring some things back from China. So that's pretty cool. Hey, and did you hear, Nick? You're actually going to make more for minimum wage.
Yeah.
You're going to try to get $9 an hour.
Finally!
Yeah, you might be. Well, unfortunately for you, Nick, this is just going to push everything up. Reese bars are going to go up to $2. Everything is relative.
Exactly.
$9 will be the $7.25 of 2 years ago.
Well, since you brought it up, let me ask you, can you remember what the minimum wage was when you got your first job?
First job was $7.65, I think.
Really? When did you get your first job?
Oh, wait, no, $6.65. My apology.
Oh, okay. I was going to say... Go ahead.
Well, my first job, though, I actually made $5 an hour plus tips because they compensated it differently, but I know minimum wage was supposed to be $6.60.
Well, I started work at a very early age. I was lucky because my grandmother was the manager, it's a pretty good story actually, of a peanut shack in the Randolph Mall in Ashburn, North Carolina. Shout out to the Peanut Shack guys if they're listening. But yeah, it's a little candy shop. But anyway, she managed it, and during the summers I'd work with her. Because she was friends with the owner, and anyway, it was basically a place for me to go hang out and get fat, because I ate a bunch of nuts and chocolate all day.
Yeah.
But they would give me some cash, and I'd go play games. But I think at that time, minimum wage was like $4.75 or $4.50.
Really?
Yeah, it was low. I remember I remember them making the change to $5.25.
Yeah, I remember when it was that low when I was a kid, but I wasn't working. Like, the least I ever made was probably on average, probably about $7.25, because when I left being a busser, I worked at Cold Stone Creamery, and there I made $7.25, and they were just bringing minimum wage up to that. And then after that, I made about $10 an hour. Not as minimum wage, but just raises. I got up to $10 an hour. Then I went and did the cruise ship, and then did all that stuff. And now I make a bunch more. But regardless, what I'm worried about is I'm going to get angry. I'll be like, wait. All these people just got a $2 raise. I want a $2 raise.
Yeah, exactly. You bring up the minimum, what about the rest of us, Yeah. But see, that's what it's all about, closing the gap between the classes, and we won't get into all of that political theory tonight. But let me ask you this. This is a fun topic. What was your favorite minimum wage job?
Cold Stone.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was it 'cause...
And I'll say that because all my best friends from high school worked there with me for 2 years. The third year, there was so much drama because all of us dated each other. It was just hell. But it was really bad. But, yeah, for the first 2 years, it was fun.
Turns.
It was good. Pretty nuts. Pretty dark and deep.
Pretty nuts. Whoa!
That's the special word for To the Echo Radio Show. We'll be talking about nuts all day, so keep your ears open and call in for a brand new car.
Hi, sir. Can I take your order? Yeah, I'd like a medium ice cream chocolate with graham crackers, fudge, and nuts. Whoa! It's like Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse, and they have no idea what's going on.
I know. And I sometimes miss eating that ice cream because the ice cream's so expensive. I can't eat it unless I'm working there.
It is. I don't know the last time I went to a Cold Stone. I went to a Marble Slab maybe 6 months ago. But you can't get out of there without spending at least, if there's two of you, $15.
Yeah. It was usually between 12 and 15. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, your eyes are bigger than your stomach because you don't realize how much ice cream you're actually getting with mix-ins. So people are like, yeah, I want the cone, I want this. But by the time they finish the ice cream, they're like, oh, this cone sucks.
Yeah, and that's how I feel.
Yeah. Did you ever have a favorite ice cream there?
I like the Love It. I used to like, let's see, what was it called? Founder's Favorite.
Oh, yeah.
What was in that? I know you know.
It had brownies, fudge, and pecans.
And I think I would change the ice cream to chocolate. Yeah.
See, me, like, it changed a lot. I started making my own. There was one I had to, like, because I became a coffee addict. I ended up loving their coffee ice cream over time. So the one I got more often than not was the Coffee Lovers Only. Coffee ice cream, almonds, caramel, and what else?
Ooh, that sounds good already.
Oh, a Heath bar. Oh, it was amazing.
Well, that sounds stellar.
Yes, but when I wanted to be fruity, I would get the strawberry banana rendezvous, which was strawberry ice cream with strawberries, bananas, white chocolate chips, and graham cracker pie crust.
I'm having an orgasm in my mouth.
Now you just made a mess all over the microphone. So, thanks a lot, Nick. Now we got to buy a new mic because you're just orgasming all over the place, you freak.
I'll have what he's having.
You know what? Don't tell him what I had.
Oh, good Lord. Yes, I love ice cream. I do. I like to go get Ben & Jerry's, though. I mean, it's comparable, and it's, $3 as opposed to $7.
Yeah. You'll pay about the same amount. It's just predetermined flavors. Yeah. I miss it, though. I miss it. It's funny. I've worked near a Cold Stone almost every one of my jobs since working at Cold Stone. Ironically, I worked at a Guitar Center, as we've spoken about before, and we always... Their plumbing above us, because there was a Cold Stone on top of us, their plumbing always messed up and flooded our store probably twice a year.
Oh, wow.
It always rained down on the drum department and, rotted out. We'd have to, pretty much get rid of all these drums and all that because, it was crap and stuff on them. Oh, the smell was terrible. But no, about 3 or 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, their plumbing flooded so much that we came into about 6 inches of water in the entire store.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So Cold Stone really wasn't a fan of me working for the, Guitar Center anymore. So, it's just so much animosity and anger. And
we have a company here in Charleston that's called The Boss. And what they do is handle water leaks. If you have a water leak in your home or office, they'll come in and get out the mold and water and dry it up for you and all that good stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So one of these emergency service things. But you'd appreciate it because they have this really great jingle. It's like, got water lost, call the boss. And I hate to pitch them, but it gets stuck in your head. It's fantastic. I love it. Get this. Okay. As if they're golden celebrities. I had an issue at my place of business today where they had to call the boss.
Oh, man.
I looked out the front front door, and lo and behold, there's the boss. I wanted to run out, and I actually took a picture, and I texted it to my other show host, Drew Howard, and said, because he knows the jingle, and I said, dude, you got to check this out. I wanted to get their autographs, but the guys were, well, they were obviously just, not the owners.
Yeah. Just regular people, Nick. Just like you and me, working a crap job.
Yeah, I thought it might be a little weird.
Yes.
But it was a very exciting moment for me. It did heighten my day there for a good hour or so.
That's good.
Now, I said that I think it was $4.75, and I remember this because I used to clean with my grandparents. They had a commercial cleaning. I told you I worked with her because she was the manager at this peanut place. And then right after that, this is when I was 11 years old. Well, about a year later, around 12, I still worked with her there, and my grandfather opened up his own commercial janitorial service. He had retired at that point, so he started another job. He wanted to keep working.
Right.
So, but they were friends with some of the people in town, and they managed to get some contracts for doctors' offices, and we would wax the floors and sell them supplies and clean the carpets and do all the cleaning for the thing. And I helped him. It was the three of us pretty much. We did it every Wednesday night, every Friday, and Saturday night.
So when did you do this? How old?
12 years old till I went to college.
Wow, so that was like child labor. That's cool. That's cool, man. Awesome.
No. It was good. It taught me discipline, but I worked that job. They paid me. Actually, he did a little more than minimum wage, but anyway, I worked at the Peanut Shack, and then I worked at Radio Shack, and then I worked probably my favorite minimum wage job. Now, it had went from $4.75 at 11 years old to being, $8 and something. Mm-hmm. What did I make? I think it was $8 an hour. Yeah, $8 an hour. I worked parking enforcement out on Folly Beach. I would write people parking tickets.
And you got a tan that year, and it was you were busy a lot, right? I mean.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite job, though, because I got to ride around in a golf cart and write people tickets, and there were, like, vendors there on Folly, so I'd get hot dogs, and, some of them would give me free food because they'd see me all the time, and, it was awesome.
Did you ever get in a big fight with the people you were writing? God.
One time. I mean, this was insane. All right, are you ready for this? Okay.
Yes.
We started a system of booting cars. Now, I never thought this was a good idea. I wasn't really sure why the owner thought that booting people... Now, you got to understand, and people here in the Charleston area will, but Folly Beach is a very laid-back town, to say the least. Very hippie, old-school beach town, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of surfers there and this kind of thing. And in fact, I remember when I got hired to that job, my manager said... He said, man, you got to chill out here on this job because everybody out here is on folly time. I wanted to coin the phrase right there. But they really do operate on folly time. And this one time, we booted a guy where all the surfers hang out. It's called the Washout. There's no beach. It's just it's a wall pretty much holding the ocean. I mean, there's a little bit of sand, but then you walk right into the water pretty much. And so they all park there and go surfing. And we booted this guy on the Washout. Now, clearly, if you get booted, you haven't paid probably 4 or 5 tickets. I mean, we didn't boot people. I think it was after 4 tickets is when you got a boot. So you probably owed, I don't know, $800 or $900. Maybe less than that, I don't know, because there's interest and all that going on.
Right.
So you get a boot, and you have a note that says you can't get this boot off your car until you've paid this, $600. We've had people take their tires off, put their spare on, and drive off and leave the wheel there with the boot on it.
And is there any way to get them back for that, or you're just like, well,
no? I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, you have their license plate and all that, but whatever. You still have your boot. They didn't steal it.
I would have taken it. I would have been like, dude, you left it on my property. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's my boot now.
So this one time, this guy I get a call from public safety on Folly. I'm out writing tickets myself. And my manager had left for the day. And this was pretty late in the evening. And public safety called me and said, we have a man who's fairly belligerent. And they said he's been apparently standing at y'all's office for a few hours, he says, and he can't get a hold of anybody, and now he's called us, and he's yelling and screaming, and we don't know what to do here. So I call my manager, and the whole loop goes around. Anyway, when it all comes down to an end, turns out I have to go talk to this guy. Now, why do I have to go? I mean, that's my first thing. Why do I gotta go talk to the guy? He's screaming. I didn't put the boot on his car. It was the other dude that had worked here today, and he's gone, I don't want to deal with this. So I get there, and sure enough, there's this redneck guy in a Suburban truck, and he's standing on the front porch of our office, and I come up, hello, sir, how are you? Well, I could be doing a lot better, boy. And he just starts immediately with the scream, and he's like, I've been here all my life. I've come here for 35 years, and I've always paid my taxes, and I've always done right by this country, and I was in the Army. And then he goes, Julie, come up here a minute, come up here. And his daughter walks up here. Now, she is a straight-A student, and we're here on vacation because we want to celebrate her being a smart young lady. And it is you who is bringing this whole family down because you have put a boot. I mean, this guy's going crazy on me. His daughter's a straight-A student. I'm like, what has that got to do with you paying a parking ticket?
I'd be like, well, hopefully she's smarter than you and learns to pay your parking tickets.
It was so awesome. The funny thing is, I pulled up all the tickets he hasn't paid, and we took pictures. So we had pictures of his car there, and of the ticket, and what time his pay slip, and what time he had paid, and how long he had, and what time it was. A picture of that, and a picture of his license plate, and I pull all this stuff up. I'm like, you didn't pay all these times.
Oh.
So he was very upset.
Did he threaten you? Like,
no, my manager ended up calling back and telling me to drop it all because I guess public safety had heard him screaming. So they called my manager and told him, you really need to do something about this. So
what I don't understand is, if that's all it takes to get rid of a ticket, just piss and moan. I'm gonna piss and moan every time. With a cop pulls me over. You know how fast you're going? I was going 100 miles per hour, douchebag, and I'm not paying it.
I'm just gonna go to court, and it's just gonna get thrown out, and you're just wasting your time.
Yeah, well, that's pretty intense for that kind of thing. I never really... I guess the worst experience I had at Cold Stone for work was it was my first week on the job, okay? That ice cream is really hard to mix. It takes time. To learn how to do it right. Well, I had a way of doing it at the time, and this lady saw how I was doing it. She's like, oh, no, we're not ordering with you. And she turns around to her family in the long line, because we were the second busiest Cold Stone creamery in the world at the time. And she's like, don't order from him. He's terrible.
Oh, my God.
I was like...
So what were you doing that she didn't like?
I don't know. I was mixing really... the way I mixed was really fast.
Oh.
Yeah, it could have been better. I mean, I understand, but Jesus, there could be a more tactful way of doing it, But, yeah, I don't know.
So do they have some kind of quirky term for being a mixer? Were you a mixologist or something at Cold Stone?
No, I think we were just a Cold Stone team member mixer, huh? What's up, fellow mixers? Let's go mix some ice cream. Yum, 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 yum.
How often did you end up having to sing a jingle every day?
Oh, probably every 30 seconds at our store.
Really?
But we made a lot of money. I I mean, we made a lot of money in relative to most stores. Like, there would be 9 to 12 of us working at a time, which is a lot of people. We were the only store out of the entire franchise to have 3 stones, and we never used the 3rd stone. But we had 12 people, and all of us would go home with between $20 and $30 tips. So yeah, I mean, it was decent money. I mean, I was pretty happy about it. I mean, on top of that, I made $7.25 an hour, and an extra, $20-$30 for the day was a pretty significant tippage on top of that.
Extra $20 or $30? That's crazy.
Yeah. But we were in a busy store. We were singing all the time, and actually used to play a lot of games because a lot of us were actors from high school. We were all in theater together. One of my favorite games was we would go up, all right, who wants to play a game of Cold Stone Gladiators? 2 people enter the freezer, 1 leaves. And we pull up spades. And it was one time this big black dude was like, I'll do it. And this little girl was like, I want to do it. And it was, well, it's got to be bad. One of the best practical jokes I ever did was our boss said we could give away about $5 to $10 worth of ice cream an hour based on it being busy. So I was like, well, we should do a little game where 3 people play like a little taste test, and if they can guess what it is or finish the ice cream, then we'll give them their own free ice cream. So there was this summer where we started having these strange flavors like wasabi ice cream. And it tasted identical to wasabi. It was spicy. It was gross. I hated it. Nobody bought it. So what did I do? I got 3 kids together, and I said, whoever can finish this gets their own ice cream. Not one of them could finish it. and it looked good because it was green. So it was just green ice cream, like mint.
I don't like wasabi.
Neither do I. Terrible.
Yeah. Have you ever had those wasabi nuts that you can get?
Yeah, and it takes a lot of eating them for me to kind of get used to them.
Yeah, they're strange. Yeah. Very strange.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, that was that job. I didn't make a ton of money, but I definitely had great bosses there. That's probably one of the best part is I had wonderful managers and owners, and they definitely didn't make the experience bad.
It's so important for management to be good, especially in a retail company, because those are stressful jobs. Yeah. Even especially for the employees.
Yeah. Well, we really took care of ourselves a lot of the time because, the owners, they had 5 stores. So they were running around to all these different stores, doing all this stuff. And there was only 2 owners, they were married. And they would just split up and go everywhere. So there'd be nights where, me, a 20-year-old, would be closing the store, and being on top of that stuff. And, but they were just so awesome and taking care of us, and it's one of the good experiences. And they're no longer in that business anymore. They moved, but so I don't go to Cold Stone much anymore. Now I don't even visit the ones in Delaware where I worked because it's like, man, it's a different environment now. Not the same owners or anything. So,
is there a bunch of them up there in the city?
There's one in Times Square. There's one where I worked at Guitar Center. Those are the only 2 I know of. I'm sure.
Just about all of ours down here have closed, and all that's left are marble slabs.
That's weird. Well, the problem is Cold Stone expanded too quickly. They were kind of like this small, you'd find one every once in a while, but they were so profitable because everybody would travel to go there. It was an experience, but then you put the experience on every corner, and not everybody's eating ice cream of every meal of every day. So yeah, they kind of lost it there, and then management they became soulless because in the beginning, it was a great fun crowd that ran the franchise, and then they sold it to this company that only thought about money, and it lost it. So, yeah, just thought you should know.
It's always, we talked about retail stores on the Sit and Spin a couple of weeks ago that are closing down. It happens because the stores try to get too big and they can't handle it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's sad to see that. But yeah, sure enough, we still have one of them. So I go every once in a while.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're coming into our first break here.
Are we?
Yep.
That's crazy.
We sure are.
Wow. Well, we got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about.
We'll be, a little later, we'll be spotlighting some music from Blakely Leonard and the Clay Monsters. He's got a new single out with their new EP, so we definitely want to talk a little bit about that, showcase that song within the next couple segments. Yeah, and we're going to, just keep it random and keep it going like we always do here on To The Echo. So stay tuned. My name's Derek Daisy. This is Nick O'Kelly. We're going to go get in trouble. We'll be back in just a couple minutes, all right?
Connecticutfi.com. We'll see you then.
See you then.
Do you remember any of those golden red butterscotch candies your grandpa used to give you? Remember how warm and fuzzy that made you feel inside? It's like that. Connecticutfi.com. Community radio.
Key Cab Service knows you like beauty. That's why we only hire the most attractive men and women to drive our taxis. So when you need to get from point A to point B in style, call 270-4790. That's Key Cab at 270-4790. Or visit the website at keycabtaxi.com. And remember, you'll know us by our smile.
Let's be honest, realtors are a dime a dozen. However, true real estate professionals are a rare find. You want somebody who's not only knowledgeable about the industry, but who understands on a personal level the home buying and selling process. You want somebody who knows what you want. Put down those yellow pages and throw away the refrigerator magnets. Your search for the perfect professionals is over. Personal experience is what really sets Mark and Patricia Fuchs apart. Respected and revered agents with Keller Williams Realty, Mark and Patricia Fuchs provide their clients with a courteous, professional, and personalized experience. Whether you're buying, selling, or just browsing, go ahead and call Mark and Patricia Fuchs at 843-425-0953. 843-425-0953. Or visit their website at markandpatriciafuchs.com. That's Mark and Patricia Fuchs, Fuchs.com.
Did you know that dysfunctions of the nervous system are often leading causes of poor posture, disease, fatigue, and much more? Dr. Brett Kahn of Neurologic Integrative Health starts from the beginning, working with patients to get a good picture of their past, present, and future health before embarking on the road of lasting well-being. Dr. Kahn brings together all aspects of a person's health to determine the best way to get results in the shortest amount of time. If you are suffering from low back pain, neck pain, pinched nerves, maybe a recent auto injury, headaches, migraines, shoulder injuries, knee injuries, numbness, tingling, repetitive stress, give Dr. Brett Kahn a call at 843-400-4087, 843-400-4087, or visit neurologichealth.com. You can even drop by the office at 874 Whipple Road, Suite 200 in Mount Pleasant.
Oh my God!
Hello?
Dad, somebody's in the house.
Oh my gosh. Run and hide. Call 911.
Forget that. I'm gonna spray him in the face with this pepper spray I got from Palmetto Protection Products. It looks like lipstick. He'll never know what hit him. Take that. That should teach you, David. No good low life.
Palmetto Protection Products has everything you need to protect yourself. Everything from cleverly disguised pepper sprays to affordable home and office alarm systems, Palmetto Protection Products can provide you with all the resources you need to scare away the bad guy. Start protecting you and yours today by visiting PalmettoProtectionProducts.com. That's PalmettoProtectionProducts.com. Palmetto Protection Products. Safety, security, peace of mind.
You're listening to KineticHiFi.com, baby.
Hey, welcome back. It's To The Echo Radio Show. Nick O'Kelly, Derek Daisy, KineticHiFi.com studios. Check us out on Spreaker.com and the iTunes store as well. And hey, why don't you follow us at To The Echo Radio?
At Twitter?
On Twitter, right.
Yeah, right. Okay. Just want to make sure.
I have turned into a Twitter fiend.
Yeah, 3-4 weeks ago, you didn't want to touch it. You were like, no, I don't like this. This is stupid. and then you would go play ball by yourself.
That's right.
And things have changed in the last couple weeks. In fact, Nick has tweeted so much, he's almost gotten our account suspended indefinitely.
Yeah.
Want to go into that, Nick? What have you done?
If you have received a Twitter message recently from To The Echo Radio with a hashtag Suburban Myth in it, as well as a link to our Reverb Nation page, it most definitely came from me. Not a bot, but no, I in a 48-hour period, Derek, I really decided to just go all out on a Twitter blitz. And now I have two Twitters. I've got the Sit and Spin Twitter for my other show and the To The Echo Twitter. And I started with To The Echo because, it's Suburban Myth. It's with you. So that's why I was using the To The Echo Twitter. I thought that would be, the good one to promote with.
Right.
Well, I started following a bunch of people, and then they'd tweet, and I'd retweet it and respond and put the link on there and hashtag Suburban Myth. By the way, I'm trying to start that around Twitter. If you type in hashtag Suburban Myth, it pops up for you now. Finishes your sentence for you. So it is a hashtag these days. So why don't you spread the love? Spread the hashtag love all over Twitter. Tweet it at the To The Echo Radio Show. Hashtag Suburban Myth. It'd be pretty great.
It would be. Thank you.
Yeah, well, but no, I tweeted a bunch of people all in a 48-hour period, and I guess they think you're a bot or you're spamming people at that point, so it was temporarily suspended.
Yes. I got the email, got the lawyer threats, telling me to cease and desist.
Now, I didn't look at the email. What did it actually say?
No, it just, because apparently you challenged it, right?
That's right. Go ahead.
Well, they just emailed me and told me why they challenged it, or why you were challenging it. They're like, well, we did this because you were typing the same thing too much. You were kind of abusing the system. You weren't doing the terms and conditions. If you have any questions, read those. We'll we'll unsuspend you within 24 hours. So I was like, okay. Nice job.
I immediately went to Google because here's what happens. I have the Twitter app on my iMac here. I don't go online and tweet. So the Twitter app has my account name and password logged into it, which I had forgotten what it was, which also became a problem at one point. But anyway, so I just pull it up and it shows my Twitter feed, and whoever's following or whatever gives me updates. So it didn't actually say your account has been suspended. Now, I didn't think to go look at the email either. You check that email. I don't generally check that email. So I guess I should, but I don't. But I do check the Twitter. So it never said your account has been suspended. So I kept trying to tweet. Well, it started saying unauthorized. And it was just bugging the heck out of me because it did it at one time and then it stopped. It started letting me tweet again. Right. Then it did it again. So I thought it was like some kind of problem with the system. I didn't know. So I go to Google, and obviously I start searching unauthorized on Twitter. And finally I get down to an answer. I hate those Yahoo Answers pages.
Right.
Don't those frustrate
one
you?
answer's like, I eat red meat. And I like dancing in the streets with my friends. I really like getting my hair cut. Yeah, it means your account was suspended.
Yeah, exactly. So somebody will be like, is it better to use halogen bulbs or fluorescent lights? And the first response is, let me get this straight. You're asking if you should use halogen or fluorescent. Did I understand your question correctly? And then the response is yes. Okay, great. I appreciate it.
It's just endless.
It's just endless, on and on. So I find a guy that says, yeah, this has been happening to me. They temporarily suspended it. You got to go look at your account online. It was actually very useful information. So I went online, and sure enough, there was the message. And he also gave me the link. Well, he didn't give it to me, but I saw the link on the page that said, go here, type your appeal, this is how you should do it. And just for the listeners, I guess if you ever run across this situation, this was good information. You should check this out. You go to their appeal page on Twitter, and you write them an email, and the best way to do it is to acknowledge to them that you know you have abused the system and what criteria you didn't follow, and then generally they'll unblock your account within 24 hours.
I was spamming anyone and everyone. I'm sorry.
That's
okay.
what I said.
As long as you know.
That's pretty much what I said. I was like, yeah.
Well, I was just going to say thanks to your spamming and all that. Our local rank has gone up on our Suburban Myth page on Reverb Nation because right now that's kind of our stand-in for a website, and our website should be going live March 1st, but until that time, our local rank in Nottingham, UK, and that is where the band is right now set because, you know, we're promoting more heavy in the UK, and that's where our home base is going to be over there. So Nick and I are going to be the only U.S. people over there doing anything, and the rest of the band is over there. Anyways, so we're local rank in Nottingham, 28. National rank, which is the entire UK, we went up 51 spots to 685. Global rank and alternative, we went up 603 spots to 7,182. And then global rank of all genres, we went up 8,801 to 112,964. So still moving our way up, but still doing a lot better. The fact that our local rank is 28 is really awesome. So we really got to step it up, kick some butt, and try to get some names right there, and get us up to the top 10 in Nottingham.
Now, just to put it into perspective for you and the listeners, I don't know if I pretty much check this thing every 5 minutes. It was sitting at number 31 last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and a week ago we were sitting at 150. So
yeah.
I mean we've been moving up, and it's just a matter of getting a little bit active and getting fans and stuff. So if you haven't checked it out yet, definitely check out ReverbNation.com, Suburban Myth. Check it out, add it, tweet it, do whatever. It all counts. It helps us out, makes us look better. And I'm trying. We've been pushing it to try to get some magazine reviews and any review we can possibly get right now, good or bad. Hey, if you love dog and music, whatever, just get our names on Google search. Trying to bump that up. So that's where we're at with that.
And like you said, it's ReverbNation.com/Suburban Myth, and that's SUBURBANMYTH. And like he said, share it on Facebook. That's what really helps. That gets us the listens. I think the rank has a lot to do with how many times the song has been played. Mm-hmm. It seems like the more plays we get, which it's up to 92 plays now, which isn't a ton, but, it's pretty good. Considering that we've managed to get 92 people to listen to the thing.
Yeah. Well, that's not the only place you can hear it either. I mean, there's other places. And then as far as our, what is it called? Our Suburban Myth Facebook page, it's facebook.com/Suburban Myth Music. So definitely check it out there. Like us there. Help us out. You'll be helping us make more music and feel relevant in the world. Thank you.
I did not realize that we had the Facebook page going, so that's exciting. I will go like it.
Yes. Oh, you don't like it? You jerk.
And actually, it was pretty cool this past week. Derek and I were able to get on another show here on Kinetic, the Big Ugly Internet Radio Show, which has a lot of touring musicians come on and to their show. And in fact, Jordan Rock, Chris Rock's younger brother, had a new segment that he started on that show the same night that we were interviewed, and they featured our music. So we're hoping that does a little bit as well. And we're going on another show, the Triangle Variety Comedy Radio Show, the Triangle Variety Radio Show, to be interviewed as well. So good things happening with Suburban Myth. We're working it.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll make lots of money. No, it's not all about money. Oh, I'm right now looking on Yahoo.com. It's got a big picture of the Barclays Center, and I got to tell you, I worked right next to it. I was in the mall right next door. I watched that stadium be built from the ground up.
Really?
Yeah. It was an ugly piece of garbage until they put those lights up. But
how is it working in Manhattan? What's that like?
I don't know. It's busy. I mean, we had the blizzard last week, and that was interesting. I had to go to work in it, and
How many people? I mean, why did they not shut? I mean, wasn't everyone else shut down?
The thing is, New York's been really, worried about, I don't know, shutting down the city too much because the hurricane. They lost a lot of money because they shut down.
Right.
But with the winter storm, they were like, well, I mean, we shouldn't shut down unless we have to. So they just kind of took their chances, and it paid off. But see, 2 years ago they did that, and they had the worst snowstorm they had had in years, and they weren't prepared for it. So it took a week for them to dig themselves out of that mess. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was really hoping we were going to get lucky there and get a, snow day and all that. No.
I saw the video that you put on Facebook where you were showing them using the tractor to clear the roads. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking there, and this is like center of Manhattan here.
Yep.
And there's like 5 people in the whole road.
Well, yeah. I'm on the corner of Central Park, so yeah, they were really trying to plow it away, but every time they plowed it away, it would fill back up again with snow. It was blowing so hard. But I got to see Central Park that morning. It was really gorgeous. Took some pictures, really white. And it was funny because my friend Adam, Adam Reaney, who was on the show a few weeks ago, he's from Arizona. He's never seen snow like that before. So he was just like, what? Oh my gosh, what? This is so beautiful. I'm like, oh, look, that's where a dog peed in the snow. That's so, that's so great.
Did you give him a yellow snow cone?
I took a picture of it. No, I didn't do that, though. I don't think I had enough time.
Oh. See, these are the things you need to think of now that you're on a radio show.
I know. Sorry. No, while I was on a radio show, I started getting a phone call. I hate when I get phone calls from numbers I don't know.
Yeah, that always freaks me out.
Uh-huh. Especially this number, because, people can't really get it. And this number is from the Bronx. Oh, what is it? Did you get a call from... I always Google it first. And it's an unwanted call. It's a call from WN Physicians. Got a call. Yeah, so it's pretty much a fake phone number.
Oh. See, that sucks. How do people get away with that?
I don't know. But they don't leave a message. Like, anytime they do, you hear beep, and then that's it. Yeah.
I mean, I just can't imagine what people think, how bored people have to be to make that their hobby.
Yeah. Or their job. Yeah. I mean, the couple times that I have answered phone numbers like that, they were trying to sell me insurance, health insurance. I'm like, I don't need health insurance. I'm fine. And then they call back 10 minutes later with a different guy. And I'm like, if you guys don't stop calling me, I'm going to put in a report and sue you.
Yeah?
Sometimes I lie. No. Sometimes I lie and say, listen, I'm a lawyer, and I know the laws, and I'm going to come after you. And they're like, okay, we'll take you off the list. Okay.
Derek's getting hard-nosed.
Yeah, man. I don't mess around.
Don't mess around here no more.
Okay.
I thought last night, or not last night, I'm sorry, earlier in the week when I was watching the State of the Union address, that Joe Biden reminds me of Jimmy Fallon on every episode of SNL ever. Because he just looked like he was trying to laugh the whole time. He was like...
Right. Always. It's really good for him.
What was he doing? I don't know. I'm sorry. I just have to vent. I haven't had a chance to vent about this. But he's ruffling through papers, looking at something the whole time. He's got like a packet of papers he was reading during this thing. And he's like picking his nose and why. I'm like, Joe, listen, calm down.
Yeah, well, he's vice president. You know, he kind of earned that right. So,
I guess.
Yeah.
If you want to look like a fool on TV.
Well, I mean, he's vice president, Nick. He already looks like a fool. We all look like fools to the world.
So, if your company was going to be mentioned in the State of the Union address, would you hesitate to go?
No.
No?
No, I would go. I'd find a way there because I know I'd be on TV. It's one of the most viewed things on television.
Well, let me ask you something. Are you a fan of Julia Stiles?
Sometimes. Sometimes I think she's an overactor.
Well, you should go check out on YouTube. I don't know if this is YouTube doing their own mini-series or if this is just... I just found this on YouTube. I'm not really sure. But there's these 7-minute little internet series episodes that she's done. It's all one series. But it's called Blue. And it's about this mom. It tells the story of this mom who works as a prostitute on the side and ends up getting called by her former friend in high school who I think now might be the father of her son. And it's very strange, but it's a good show. I enjoy it. I'm kind of caught up in it.
Wow. I haven't watched any new shows lately. I want to see House of Cards now that it's on Netflix.
Yeah, that's with Kevin Spacey, right?
Yeah. I'm curious about it. Looks interesting.
Were you ever a fan of Arrested Development?
I never saw that either. No.
You really should watch through that series before it comes out on Netflix.
You should really shut your face, okay? You don't tell me what to do, okay?
I think that's 4 seasons. So I think there's 4 seasons on Netflix, and they're bringing it back to Netflix. It's going to be on there, and it's very, very funny. It's Jason Bateman and Michael Cera and a bunch of other people.
Michael Cera's in it?
Yeah, Michael Cera's in it. What's the other guy? Cross. Christopher Cross, is that his name? The guy with glasses that's a comedian?
I don't know. There's a lot of guys with glasses. I
can't think of his name. Well, you would know him. Anyway, there's a bunch of people in it. Bunch of people.
Well, I didn't know Michael Cera was in it. Now I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I mean, it's probably one of the funniest shows I've ever watched.
That's a bold claim, Nick.
Oh, and it's got oh man, I don't have any names. I hate trying to think of names. Crap. You know what? I'm going to pull up IMDb. That's what I'm going to do right now.
You underprepared poop face.
Yeah, well, it's what I do around here, okay?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
okay, man. Michael Cera, Jason Bateman,
yes.
Portia de Rossi, David Cross. That's who I was trying to think of. David Cross. Jeffrey Tambor. Will Arnett is the other guy that's in it.
Okay.
And Ron Howard's the narrator.
Really?
Yeah. So,
well, how do you feel about them just releasing all the episodes all at once on Netflix? Like, because House of Cards, the entire first season is just up. There's no waiting. There's no demand. It's just watch it when you want to.
Well, as for Netflix, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's keeping up with their business model.
Well, if people watch it,
I think they'll beast through them immediately. I mean, the thing is, they film them all at one time.
Yeah.
Generally, or they'll film half of them and then the other half of them.
Right.
So that's what I kind of... You get into these shows and you have to wait a week to see... One thing that Netflix has done to kind of ruin my TV viewing experience in a good way, if you can ruin something in a good way, is the fact that I can sit there and watch. Let's take Lost, for example. I watched the entire series all at one time.
Right.
Then I got into, let's say, Breaking Bad, which is still on TV currently. I watched all of the seasons that Netflix had all at one time and got caught up, and then had to watch the new season on TV and wait in between for all the episodes.
I know. Isn't that the worst?
Yeah, it's terrible.
That happened on The Office for me. Like, I got into The Office 5 seasons in. Like, I had no idea how good it was, and Netflix Instant Watch just became available, and I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to watch it. And I just couldn't stop watching it. I watched the entire series through season 4 in like 3 days. And then, I was so obsessed with the Pam Jim story. I was like, oh, I hope they get married. Now I could care less about their story. But then season 5 came out, and then 6. And right now it's like, did you see Thursday's episode? Last Thursday? Not this past Thursday.
Of The Office, yes.
Yeah, the one with when Andy comes back.
Yes. Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Yeah, what a weird guy, man. I hate Andy. And God, not Drew Howard. I don't hate him yet, but Andy, And I love, what actually reminded me of Drew Howard was I was watching, because every once in a while I'll just go through the series again, because I love the show with Michael Scott. And Andy comes back from anger management, and he wants people to call him Drew.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And everybody's like, no, I'm not calling you that.
That's really funny.
It was kind of that way with Andy when he was like, oh, I'm Drew Howard now. Oh, okay. Because on Facebook it says Andy.
Yeah, well, he does have a Drew Howard comedy Facebook page. I felt so bad the first few episodes of Weekend Sit and Spin when we first started. I think we've really found a niche now, the two of us on that show. But for the first few episodes, we were still getting on the same rhythm, and I could not for the life of me get in the habit of calling him Drew Howard, because I just don't on a regular basis,
Right.
So in the show, we're trying to promote his comedy. Or he'll talk as Drew Howard. That's his stage name. Which his name is Andrew Howard Barnes. That's his name.
Yeah. Right.
So it's not like it's a fake name. It's just a nickname and his middle name. But I just, anyway, so it's fantastic.
God. Nick, do you ever get a letter from a credit card company that's like, this is your pre-approved voucher for auto financing up to $30,000. Because if they looked at my credit, they would know I would get nowhere near $30,000. Should be like, we'll give you $10 to come in and look at these cars.
You know what my favorite ones are? I get these every once in a while, where the car companies will send you a letter that has the key to a car on it. It's like a fake key, but it looks like a real one. And it'll say, you can come get a car right now. You have just won. And then you get down there and you get you can win like a candy bar and a chance to get your credit disapproved.
Right. Well, this is the third time Nissan of Queens has sent me a letter telling me to come down. Now, Nissan is not a car that I think of when I want to buy a car. I got to tell you, Nick, have you ever seen the smart cars? You'd have. Mercedes-Benz makes them.
Yeah, definitely.
I want one so bad, and I don't know why. To get it loaded with normal stuff that a normal car has, the car is actually like $15,000.
Yeah, they're cheap.
Because I could buy a Fiesta, a Ford Fiesta for the same amount of money and more space.
Well, yeah, but you would pay a lot more in gas.
Yeah, no, it's about the same.
The problem with the smart car, I don't know if you or I would be good with it because of how small it is. I have a Toyota Scion, and I have a hard time fitting in it.
Yeah, but I hear the smart car actually is built like for a full-size person. Like a guy owned it. He was like my size.
It is. It's not the room inside. It's just that it's so small. I feel like your perception on the road would be thrown off completely. Mm-hmm. And I would feel I mean, you got these huge. I mean, this is America. You got to think those cars are built for European cities or New York. Smaller alleys. Around here, we got big trucks driving all over the place. I mean, you don't want to get run over. But the charge will only hold for about 30 minutes. 30 miles.
The charge. Well, I'm not talking about the fully electric model. I'm talking about the gas model.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the gas model, I don't know how big the tank is. It's not huge. But it gets about the same gas mileage as a Fiesta. It's just smaller. Like, there's a person in New York that parks there. I walk by it every Wednesday when I go to acupuncture. And, yeah, they're just squeeze. I've seen them just maneuver into this little spot, like in between motorcycles and this little bit of room that a car left in front of it. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. and the truth is, like, I couldn't fit my amp and my guitar in that thing. It would be completely unuseful for me. But the fact is, I want it because it's cool and small.
Yeah. Well, for you, it would be excellent because you could park it very easily.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And getting around in New York, I mean, you could maneuver in and out of traffic. But that's what you have to have over in Europe.
I know.
You know, they have smaller...
Some places. Like, I saw them a lot in England or, in the UK. But, the car I was driving around in was pretty large. It was a pretty big BMW.
Well, I'll be honest. If you were to get... Now, a large car, yes. But in Germany... You wouldn't be able to drive one of these big F-350s you see driving around here all the time.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because parking spaces are smaller, driveways are smaller, the roads are more narrow. I mean, it's hard to maneuver a big vehicle through a lot of roads in Europe. So that's really what the car is designed around.
Yeah. Well, in the smart car, the one thing, because I was curious about the accidents, that they actually build like this roll cage in it where it is a really strong skeleton. I watched a video where a person drove 70 miles per hour into a wall. And, I mean, well, you would have died, but regardless.
He drove 70 miles an hour into a wall.
It was really funny. No, I mean, they said you would have died from brain damage and your organs just flying forward.
Yeah, you pretty much would have been disintegrated.
But the roll cage was fine. Like, everything was fine on the car as far as the cage. Which makes you feel confident.
I'm sorry. It's reminded me of that movie. What is it? Death... where it's Kurt Russell driving that car around. What the hell? What is the name of that?
Death Race or...
Death Proof.
No, Death Proof. Yeah.
He puts the girl in the other side of the car.
Yeah.
Well, the roll cage was fine. The girl, on the other hand...
yeah. She
was not.
He drove so fast at that car. Oh, that was a gross movie.
Yeah, that really was. I hate that kind of movie. I'm sorry, guys. I have to just throw it out there. I am not a horror person. I'll give it up to a good one here and there. Maybe the horror thrillers like The Ring. Did you ever see The Ring?
Yes, love The Ring.
That's a good movie. I enjoy something like that.
That's like a thriller, though. That's more of like a horror thriller.
And horror thrillers, I get off on that. I think that's excellent. And a lot of Stephen King. Well, yeah, I shouldn't have said it that way.
Wow. Well, I know what it's going to take to get my baby.
But, there's a lot of Stephen King stuff that's like that. So, that's not what I mean. Okay? Uh-huh. What I don't like is the unnecessary gore.
Yeah.
And the sister of that movie, of Death Proof, was Planet Terror. Mm-hmm. Where it's a zombie movie, and the guy he gives the girl the leg gun thing, and they're just chopping up bodies and eating them, and I can't watch that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a big like a bunch of blood. I mean, even in that movie Death Proof, where like the tire busts through the front of that car and it like runs on the girl's
and it runs over.
face.
Yeah, that's so awful.
Or when the leg cuts off and the leg just bounces on the ground like a chicken leg. I was like,
that's nasty.
But I never thought of it like that, and then that's why I don't drink and drive anymore.
But that's really just. It's just the thing is nowadays, especially. Okay, can I just rant for a second? Nowadays,
yes,
especially, you go to a movie theater, right? And what do you see? Well, what happens? You pay if you're taking a date, I'm going to say a date because generally 2 people is a good way to average the prices. But anyway, you take 2 people to a movie theater, you're spending $20. You get inside to get snacks, you're spending another $20 on snacks. Let's not kid ourselves. A date to the movie nowadays, $40 at least.
Yeah, I agree.
Why do I want to spend $40 to go be grossed out and be scared the whole time? I mean, what the hell is that? Why do people like that?
It's just to shock their systems. That's all it is.
Yeah, well, if you want to shock your system, why don't you go... I shouldn't even say that. You can look in the mirror and turn all the lights out and say Biggie Smalls 3 times and shock your system. You don't need to spend $40 to do that.
Why can't you say Bloody Mary? I think that's even scarier.
Well, I was referencing South Park.
I know you were. I've seen that episode, but Bloody Mary is more the real thing to be scared of.
You've done that, right? I did Bloody Mary back in the day, too.
Yeah.
But you've done it, yeah? You and your buddies back in elementary school? That's some freaky stuff, isn't it?
I know. Did she ever come through for you?
No.
Oh.
No. That's because I never came through for her.
Yeah.
I never did it. Did you do it? I mean, I would get in there and do it like one time, and I'd freak out.
No, I did it. I was like, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. All right.
Okay, guys. I'm going to say it real fast. No, I'd be like, guys, here we go. Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary. Just say it, douchebag. Bloody Mary. All right, I said it, guys. You got to say it more, Nick. Come on. Bloody Mary. And then I'd never say it a third time. I'd always get freaked out.
Wimp.
Yeah, well...
God,
maybe we should do that as a To the Echo experiment sometime. We will turn off all the lights in the studio. Hey, we have a ghost in the studio. Has anybody informed you of that?
No.
Yes, there is a ghost at Kinetic Hi-Fi, and I'll be honest, there's been quite a bit of technical difficulties that we've had to deal with. A lot of them on this show, and I cannot blame them all on human error because a lot of them were very unexplainable events, and it happened also on the Big Ugly Show not too long ago. The board has just been cutting off.
Well, that could just be electricity.
We'll be standing there and it will shut off. No, just that. Everything else is on. Just that shuts off.
Well, yeah, that doesn't mean it's haunted. There could be something wrong with the board.
Hey, I don't believe it's haunted either, but, Drew, of course, we went by the other night because I had lent the guys my vacuum cleaner, and we went by and nobody was there, and it was, so Andy starts taking pictures and doing the ghost hunters thing because we thought it was funny and we wanted to talk about it on the show.
Right.
And he got one picture with this little thing above the desk, and it looks like a ghost you see on the unexplainable mystery shows on TV, and he's freaking out about it.
Look at that, it's an orb.
Yeah, it's an orb. That's what it is. I say it's the Phantom of the Ugly because it first happened on Dave Ugly's show. The Phantom of the Ugly is here. Where is she? I haven't seen the Phantom of the Opera in a long time. I love that play.
I did the first few times. Then I saw that movie.
Oh, the movie was terrible. Can we talk about, okay, if you want to say, if you as a viewer do not appreciate musical movies like the new Les Mis that came out where the actors actually sing, go watch that Phantom of the Opera movie because that was just terrible. Well, they didn't sing on set.
Yeah,
so the lips don't match up, and I don't even know if some of the people are the actual singers. And the audio sounds awful. I mean, they're in these huge halls, and the recording sounds like they're in a closed room. Right.
Yeah. Not very good.
No, it was unreal. I did not like it. So, anyway. But what I was going to ask off of that was, because this brings up a good topic. I know we've blown through the break, but why don't we just keep going here?
Okay.
We'll just take a break after this segment. There's no big deal here.
Okay.
Have you seen, you live in New York?
Yeah.
You live near Broadway. I imagine, how close do you come to Broadway every day when you go to work?
I don't know. I mean, Broadway's trying to think, because I'm on Fifth Avenue. Broadway, it's on the other side of the island when I go to work, so I actually don't pass it, like, physically. Like, I might on the train for a moment, but I'm not aware of it. But it's close. I mean, it's about a 10-minute walk for me.
Right. So, how many, have you seen any plays since you've lived there?
One. Or two, actually. What is it? Lion King. And then one of the girls from Three Companies, she was in a play where she was playing this love therapist. And it was actually really funny. She did a great job. What was her name? Lewitt? Joyce Lewitt or something like that? I don't know.
Joyce DeWitt.
DeWitt, yeah. She was good.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. She was really good, though. She was really funny. And we were in, like, the third row, so that was cool.
You know, Joyce DeWitt, that's her name.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go see The Lion King. Back in high school, I was in the marching band. Did you do marching band?
I did. I played sousaphone and tuba.
Oh, wow. Very cool. I played the mellophone. I was a French horn player. And in high school, we did not do marching band competitions. We only did regular band, the ensemble competitions. So, but we would still march. Every football season, we'd get a new show, and we'd learn that show, and that's what we march all season long, and we would build on it as the season went. And because we didn't do any competitions, a lot of the other schools around us did. Our director did that because he didn't want people to have to choose between athletics and band. And I liked the idea. It was a good theory, and it worked because our band ended up being like 300 people strong. Because we had all the football players and all the cheerleaders, everybody was in the band. I mean, it was the thing to do. You could still go to your athletic stuff because we didn't have afternoon practices.
Right.
So, we would do the show, and because we didn't go to competitions, we never had any awards or anything, so every other year, the band would go on a trip. Now, generally, that trip was to the Bahamas. They'd go on a cruise. Well, that year rolled around, trying to remember here, was it my freshman year? Yeah, my freshman year of high school, I think. Anyway, it was 9/11. So
we're not laughing at 9/11.
I'm not laughing at how awful of. I mean, it's just my luck, right? Mm-hmm. Because they won't let us out of the country, so we couldn't go on a cruise. So this is a good story. My band director comes to us at the beginning of the year, and he drops the bomb, right there. Guys, we're not going to be able to go on our regular cruise, okay? 9/11, all right? But, and this is great, he was like, what I'm trying to do is organize a trip either A, to Disney World instead, or B, a Disney cruise, which the school would approve. I don't know why that would matter, but that's what he told us.
Right.
Well, a few months later, evidently he was not able to get this done, because a few months later, suddenly we weren't going to Disney World anymore, nor were we going on a cruise, Derek. You know where we went?
Where?
Nashville.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what we said.
Hey, we're in Nashville.
We're in Nashville.
That's cool.
Now, it gets better.
Okay.
Because at first, he says, okay, we're going to go to Nashville, and we're going to stay in the Opryland Hotel. And we're like, oh, well, that's something. I mean, that thing is wild, right? Well, you see, Derek, apparently that was a little too expensive as well. So we didn't go to the Opryland Hotel. No, instead we stayed at the Radisson across the street from the Opryland Hotel. And as an added bonus, we did go eat breakfast in the Opryland Hotel.
Now, did you have to raise money for this?
Yes, we had to
What?
do all the. Yeah, dude, we had to sell. We used to sell. Did you ever do fundraisers at school?
Yeah.
We did. We sold fruit. And, they would split it up. The first half of the year in the fall, we would, because they tried to do a trip every year.
Right.
Every other year the band would do it, but then the years in between the chorus would go, and then some of the band members would get to go with them. I experienced that my junior year, and we'll get there.
Cool.
But in the beginning of the year, we would sell frozen biscuits and cheesecake. And it was good. It was good stuff. Like, you would pass out the catalog to everybody, and you'd sell. What I would do is just give it to my dad, and he'd take it to work with him, and then everybody in his office would buy it,
Yeah, it's awesome. You didn't have to do any work.
Right. And, but the problem was the organization of the thing, because when everything finally came in, you had to deliver it, right?
Right.
Well, the second half of the year, the cheesecake stuff wasn't too bad, because you got to imagine it's all frozen stuff, so it's small boxes, right? I mean, it's a box about this big. It's not that big. Second part of the year in the spring, we would sell fruit. The fruit would come in massive boxes. So you have to go pick up these huge boxes of grapefruit and oranges and all this stuff. But that's how we did fundraisers, and that would go towards your trip. So,
it's funny you bring that up, because for us, we had to do Joe Corby's pizza.
Oh, really?
It's awesome. I love Joe Corby's pizza. It's the worst pizza, but it's so awesome.
Was it frozen?
It's frozen pizza.
Yeah.
It came with a big dough, and then you put the sauce, and you put the cheese. And, it's awesome. And, you would sell that. And then one year we did parking for the state fair, which means I went there for a week, and for every hour I was there, they gave our program $5. So what that means is I probably would have made more money had I just went and done my job and then just saved some money. But instead, I went and sat out in the burning sun for 5 days. Oh, it was so hot. One day it rained. The only thing I'm happy about with that is I got to hang out with my good friends like Jen and and all that. Because at the time, I had just broken up with my ex-girlfriend. And that was, this is high school. It doesn't matter now at all. But at the time I did, and it was awkward. And, her family was still really nice. Like, I remember one day her mom, brought sandwiches. She gave me a sandwich. I was like, oh, thank you. Really cool family. Anyways, the moral of the story is, purple is the color for revenge.
Oh. Well, that's interesting. I think that went in a completely different direction than I was expecting it to.
Oh, no. What I was going to say, too, we also, in fundraising, we also do candy. Remember the big boxes of candy? It was like $50 a box. See, I guess I didn't get it, and I kept sneaking it. Before you know it, my mom just had to pay $50 for the candy bars because I just ate.
Sucks.
I know. She's like, Derek, where's all the candy? I'd be like, well, I don't know. It's just come on, Mom. Come on.
Come on. Come on.
$50. It'd have Kit Kats, Reese's. It was amazing. Good stuff. It was $1 a bar.
Kit Kat and Reese's.
I don't think they make that kind of money anymore. But yeah, as far as trips go, we went to Disney World. Our program,
that's cool.
They weren't cheap. And we got to go to Boston one year. And Boston was actually really nice. I got to see the Blue Man Group. And we actually competed. That's the difference between you and me. We actually did really well. We almost got a perfect score in Boston, I think. I think it was Boston. Yeah, so that was really exciting. But yeah, we went there, Disney World. We went to Atlanta. And we got to see the Coke factory where they make cocaine. It's really, the Cubans are there. It's really nice.
There's lots of naked women, and I didn't understand.
And they had different flavors of Coke, like cherry Coke. And it's just you don't really taste it. You just imagine it.
I'll never understand why they thought that was appropriate for children. But unfortunately, these days, I have this terrible habit that I just can't seem to break.
Yep. It was really good. Very expensive. And we got to see...
I bet it was. Did you come home with a couple of kilos of Coke or what?
How about a 12-pack? Huh?
How'd you get that back through the Border Patrol?
Well, we were just in the country. It was fine.
Did you go to Atlanta or did you go to Mexico?
I'm pretty sure it was Atlanta. But
they just told you it was Atlanta.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, it was pretty desolate.
I thought you could drink Coke. Well, technically you can, Billy.
Just mix it in with some water or Gatorade. You're going to feel great.
You won't know what happened.
So, good times.
Yeah, great oldies guaranteed.
Oh, man. Oh, I loved it, though. And the thing was, I was never that great of a tuba player. Like, I was second chair. The tuba player above me was so much better than me. So much.
Well, John Lennon said if you give him a tuba, you could make a... What did he say? I've messed it up. Never mind. So you weren't a very good tuba player.
Yeah, I wasn't at all. I started to learn, but the thing was I couldn't read music before I did it, and how I learned was I was like, okay, what fingers do I got to push down? And I would write that under each note, and I would just learn where the pitch was. Like, because I knew what down, middle, and up was. I knew how to do that, and I understood melody. But I didn't know how to read music straight up or tuba, so it was just like boom, 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 and yeah.
Now I used to go fiddle around with the. Let me ask you this: tubas are big instruments, obviously.
Yeah.
When you went into the concert band, I'm assuming did you do that as well, or did you just do marching band?
Yeah, I did it all. I did that, choir. So it was like pretty much just a Derek Daisy show during these things. Just be like, hey, I'm the choir. No.
Yeah, we had some people like you at our school.
It wasn't because I wanted to. No, I had really good friends. Like, I started off in band, and it's funny because everybody really didn't like me, which is fine. But
I can't imagine.
Yeah. Over time, I started becoming friends with those who had the click, Yeah. My good friend Jen, she's really one of my dearest friends. She, we became friends, and by becoming friends with her, she had this whole group of people that just accepted me into their crowd, And I was like, thank you. And then all of a sudden, band was fun. And then she was like, you should come and do choir. I'm like, okay, I'll do choir. Sure. And I did that, and same deal, where I just knew everybody. But then I was doing theater. So I was just theater, choir, I was always busy at school with the extracurriculars.
Did you have a good theater department?
It was okay. I mean, we had some good people, and I'm not saying I'm one of them. I'm not. I remember, I could be really intense. Like, anytime there was, a really bad character who had to scream, they're like, Derek, we need you. And I would just freak out on stage. Oh, that reminds me. I was in Footloose. I was, what's his name? He was the boyfriend.
I have to be honest with you. I've never seen Footloose.
Okay, Footloose. All right,
Kevin Bacon is who's in it.
Yeah, well, Kevin Bacon. Yeah, so Kevin Bacon, the girl that he's in love with, has this mean boyfriend who's really douchebag, and he sings this. Good God, that girl gets around. I found out Adam Reaney played the exact same part as me in his school.
What?
Yeah. So we were singing together the other night. We both knew all of it.
You were theater buddies.
Yeah, well, he was in Arizona, I was in Delaware, but the fact that we both did the same parts, and we approached it completely different. He was just a straight-up douchebag. I was just like, let's go, come on, hon, let's go, and then I freak out when I found out she's going to hang out with that guy. Don't you dare call me to calm down!
I bet yours was better.
No, I don't know. Adam's pretty talented.
Come on. Yeah, he is talented, but I just have to say, Derek Daisy is who it is.
Well, he and I are doing this little project for work, this video project, and it's like I'm the director, I'm the one shooting it, and he's editing it. So we have to kind of work together on it. And what's kind of scary for me is because he went to school for film, I was like really worried he was going to hate everything I did. And I wrote out like half a script because he's going to write the other half, and I gave it to him. And he read it. He's like, no, I really like it. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, idiot. You hate it. Just don't lie to me. Just tell me what you really think. He's like, no, I really like it. I like the flow of it. So I felt a lot better about that.
Well, good. Very good.
Yeah, so hopefully it's a Golden Globe winner.
Well, since we beasted through our break, we're going to need to give a little more time for this break. So we're going to go ahead and probably take that break. Listeners, you've been in the studio with To The Echo Radio. It's myself, Derek Daisy. We're so glad you've joined us here on Kinetic Hi-Fi this lovely, lovely Saturday evening. It's been a great week for us anyway. Suburban Myth climbing the charts. You need to get a hold of a listen to this right now because the EP's coming out soon and you don't want to miss it. Go to ReverbNation.com/Suburban Myth and there's info about the band on there. There's the bio. We'll have the website up very soon. Facebook.com/Suburban Myth Music as well. You can find us To The Echo Radio on Twitter at To The Echo Radio. You can also find our archives on Kinetic on Spreaker.com as well as the iTunes Store. Plenty of places to find us. You've got no excuse. So we're going to take a break. What do you got to say, Derek?
We also remember that we are part of the Weekend Warrior package, which usually starts on Friday from 5 to 6. We got Geek Explosion. With Drew Howard. On Saturday, got Weekend Sit and Spin with Nick O'Kelly, Drew Howard from 12 to 2. And then To The Echo Radio Show from 8 to 11. And then on Sunday, we got the much better improved From the Bleachers with Nick O'Kelly, Drew Howard from 8 to 10. Now that Bucky's gone, take a listen. It's going to be a good time.
Oh, we love you, Bucky.
I'm only attacking because you left the show. That's you've earned this. Don't be mad at me.
You're killing me, Smalls. Well, anyway, we're going to take that break. We hope you'll stick around. We will be right back. It's To The Echo Radio Show, KineticHiFi.com. We'll be right back.
Do you like chocolate milk? Well, if you like sweet but nutritious, you've found the right place. KineticHiFi.com.
Kinetic Hi-Fi and NASCAR Talk with Bucky are proudly brought to you by Highland Wealth Advisors, LLC. Working closely with high net worth individuals to help them accomplish their personal and financial goals and objectives, Highland Wealth Advisors helps business owners grow their business to provide more income and improve quality of life. Allow Highland Wealth to coordinate strategies to help create and preserve wealth for you and your heirs. With Highland Wealth Advisors, you will get peace of mind. Put your faith and future in the hands of Highland Wealth Advisors today by calling 516-221-2299. That's 516-221-2299. Or visit the website at highlandwealthny.com. Highland Wealth Advisors, LLC. We perform.
You can watch football just about anywhere, but there's no better way to see it than out in the open air surrounded by Shem Creek and all that is Reds Ice House. It's the way the Low Country watches football. ACC, SEC, Pro. We got it all at Reds. Plus huge TVs inside and out on the deck. So when football's on, throw on your colors and get to Reds. Let's see. Thursdays, Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays. Yeah, basically every day. It's like a wide open tailgate party right on the water. Our menu is full of fresh seafood and almost everything is under $10. Plus, we have live music all weekend, and every Monday night, it's all-you-can-eat crab legs. So grab your friends, grab the kids, you can even grab the dogs, and head over to Red's, because football's on TV, and we're saving you a spot. Red's Ice House open every day at 11 on Shem Creek in Mount Pleasant and at Bohicket Marina on Johns Island. Find us on Facebook and at redsicehouse.com. Reds.
Did you know that dysfunctions of the nervous system are often leading causes of poor posture, disease, fatigue, and much more? Dr. Brett Kahn of Neurologic Integrative Health starts from the beginning, working with patients to get a good picture of their past, present, and future health before embarking on the road of lasting well-being. Dr. Kahn brings together all aspects of a person's health to determine the best way to get results in the shortest amount of time. If you are suffering from low back pain, neck pain, pinched nerves, maybe a recent auto injury, headaches, migraines, shoulder injuries, knee injuries, numbness, tingling, repetitive stress, give Dr. Brett Kahn a call at 843-400-4087, 843-400-4087, or visit neurologichealth.com. You can even drop by the office at 874 Whipple Road, Suite 200 in Mount Pleasant.
Hey, Zappos Pizza, trust the hype. You don't take it from me, Johnny B. Zappos Pizza is a real deal. Your Southerners, you should stick to your fried chicken and mashed potatoes, whatever it is you do down there. Leave the pies to the pros, okay? They're located at 708 King Street in the beautiful Charleston, South Carolina. Or you can call the delivery guy. His name's Johnny Thu. It's 843-772-9911. Eat at Zappos!
Yeah, that's right. It's what happens when you cross bad with good. You're listening to KineticHiFi.com. It's good.
Welcome back into the Echo Radio Show. I'm Derek Daisy. With me is Nick O'Kelly.
Woo!
And we're here talking a lot about nothing, and we'll continue talking about nothing for the next hour and a half, and we'll actually be showcasing some music from Blakely Leonard and the Clay Monsters. He's got a song called Circles. We'll be diving into that a little bit. We're also going to be starting a blog this week, which will show some of the interview that we had with Blakely because we couldn't get him in the studio. And, this is something we're actually going to try every week from here on out, is try to find a new band or group that has a song that they really want to push, want to talk a little bit about them, make people aware of these underground bands, and then create a blog and let you read up on it. And, maybe you'll become a new fan. Maybe you'll buy some music. Maybe you'll torrent it. Whatever, man. Do whatever you want. Just don't blame us.
Yeah, it's really a new age of music. And I think this is a good thing, because bands today, you don't have representatives from record companies anymore looking as hard as they used to because they don't have the budget for it anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Honestly, if you want to be famous nowadays, you got to go out there and build your own fan base before you go get thrown out there with a record deal. A record deal is really nothing anymore. Right now, what Nick and I are doing, along with Phil and a few people over in the UK, we are essentially a record company of our own accord. We're out there promoting. We're out there putting our own money behind the project. And, some good news about a song called Why Oh Why. We sent it into the BBC, and they really liked it. There's some cuss words in the song, which you'll probably hear. But it's one of those songs, though, we sent over there, and the DJs really liked it. So that might be getting picked up and put on the radio a little bit more often over there, which is all we need. Something like that. You get that out there, then you start booking some shows, go play over there, become, well-known, make some money, buy some mansions,
Whatever.
That's how we handle it.
Since you mentioned the song, why don't you give us a little bit of an insight to, since, there's cuss words in it, okay, but what's the song about? Tell us what it's about.
The song's about, government just taking advantage of people, spending money on, I was over with Phil, and Phil was really going in depth with me about it. He was like, well, there was this one congressman who was just spending taxpayer money on stuff in his own house, just things that he wanted, and he got arrested, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't know you couldn't do that." Oh. and he went to jail, and he got out, and he was voted back in. So that's why, and the song is Why Oh Why, it's really just kind of like, why are we putting up with this?
Oh, that's a really cool story.
Yeah. So it's a lot of anger, and it's funny because they said they need a radio edit version, and Phil was like rewriting lyrics. I'm like, Phil, we don't have to rewrite the lyrics. We'll just mute it.
Yeah.
I can just mute the cuss words out. I'll mute it. It's not a problem. People will know what we're talking about. It's radio. If they want to hear the real version, they'll call or download it on iTunes. You'll be able to pick up our song River of Life, which is our first official single here in the United States as well as UK, February 18th. Be able to pick it up on Amazon.com as a download, iTunes. You'll be able to hear it on Spotify and a lot of places like that, so keep your ears open, for that. And then the EP will drop March 18th. It's a 6-song EP, featuring, just to get you started with what we're doing, and hopefully sometime later in the fall we'll have our full official album, Big Guy album, with all new songs. I'm not a firm believer in just pulling 4 or 5 songs from an EP and just dropping it in with another album, because we've written a lot.
Yeah, well, that's what we hate about the Goo Goo Dolls doing that with.
Give a little bit,
yeah.
I was so mad about that.
Well, and what was the piano song? The 9/11 song. What was that?
What are you talking about?
Well, they did the really solemn piano song.
Oh, Better Days.
Better Days. I'm sorry. Yes, Better Days.
That was like written for Christmas, but it came out during Katrina.
Katrina. I'm sorry, It was Katrina. Yeah, but they still put it on the album, even though it had already been out for a while.
Yeah. So it was like 2 songs down. It was like, oh, come on. You jerks. It was 2 different things, yeah. And then I was like, all right, well, there's 2 songs. I guess all we need is 9 more. I'm not a big believer in that. It's like we've written enough songs. We got 12 really cool songs. Actually, today I started working on a new one called The Reason. Really heavy drums, heavy guitars.
Ooh.
It's going to be interesting. You'll be hearing it soon, Nick.
Very cool.
To get your input and all that. And we'll send it out to the rest of the band and get their input. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing that we really have going for us, and I constantly try not to take too much for granted, but that we do all our own production.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we're not made of money, so we can't go out and rent out these big studios. So a lot of it's done in-house. We'll do it in our apartments, or, actually, that's about it. Yeah, just do it in our apartments, set up, record everything and anything, and, take whatever knowledge I got and try to do it. I got a nice big 24-channel board in front of me to help me mix some stuff up, but it's all in a digital realm. That's the thing. I'm almost 100% digital. Don't have a lot of analog stuff going on, except through my what's it called? My what is it called?
Your audio box?
Sound. Yeah, it's not an M audio. No. It's a lot nicer than that, Nick.
Oh, I see.
Yes. Audio interface. There we go. But yeah, so it's. I don't know, but I think we've been achieving some really good results, and we're going to keep pushing that forward.
Well, it really pays tribute to how far along the technology has come as far as these programs go. I'm just getting started learning Logic, and I don't know, did you get my text the other night? I figured out what was wrong with what I was recording.
No.
I've been doing intros for the radio shows. I did one for Geeksplosion, where I'm like, Geeksplosion! I introduce Andy and everything. And unfortunately, he took it, the very first show he had, I actually got upset with him a little bit because I listened to his show. I was real excited about it. And the intro came on. I was like, all right, here we go. I'd worked all this time on it. And it was just, the intro is a countdown of a bomb explosion, and then it's Machine Head. And then me coming in and saying what I say. Well, all that played was Machine Head. And then he came in, and I'm thinking, that jerk. He just played the song. He didn't. But it come to find out, it was me. My track, my vocal track, was only in one side of the channel, and I guess the interface that they have with the board there is a mono channel or something. But anyway, it wasn't playing that side. So it turns out there's a button that you push on the mixer in Logic at the bottom of the track that changes it from one side to the other side to the middle. Mm-hmm. And there's a little knob that you can digitally turn around, and I thought that's what panned it. But there's this little button that does it, and that's what I was not hitting, and it was only on the left side of the channel.
Oh. Wow. You learn some, you screw up some, I guess. That's cool, man. Congratulations at learning how to record a song.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for a long time. So.
Well, I've never had this issue before because when I bounced it down, it played on everything else. The only thing the track would not play my vocal on was in the studio. It would play correctly on my phone, on his tablet, on all our computers, but when we went to the studio, it wouldn't play, and that's why I guess it's a mono channel or something, and it won't play the left side, so...
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but I was proud of myself for figuring that out. So,
well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Glad you're making strides at your career as a sound engineer.
Yeah, but this is it's a big program. There's a lot to learn with it. So, it definitely makes me appreciate more what you do.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, because I work really hard.
Yeah, there's a lot to it for sure, and the songs sound fantastic. I think we can say now that people like it because everybody I've played it for, we play it it's been played on the radio now a couple times. We were interviewed on the Dave Ugly Show the other night. By the way, we're going to be on the Triangle Variety Comedy Show on February 25th at 8 p.m. It's blogtalkradio.com/Triangle Variety, so you can check that out. We just want to get the word out there, but so far the response has been extremely positive.
Yeah, it's neat to know that we can accomplish something. Like the biggest testament to me is like when the BBC's like, "Yes, we'll play this song." That's a big deal to me because it's like, dude, I did that in my apartment. Like we did this between the two of us in 2 rooms apart, and made this happen in apartment rooms, and they're like, yeah, it's great. Which just shows you don't have to go into a studio and spend $50,000 anymore.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean that you don't want to work with certain people. Like, I'm telling you, if I had the money, I'd be down working with Jim and Alan on a new album. I just would be. I just don't have the money or the time because I'm so focused on this right now. And people message me all the time, when are you going to come out with a new album? It's like I have a million songs written for a new album to just go between and figure out and pick 12 songs. It's not that easy though. It's hard to motivate me for myself. Or record myself because obviously I'm too close to my own music.
Yeah.
With this stuff, it's like I got other input from other people, but it's not my lyrics, so I'm a little less critical on some of the stuff that I do. Like I learned to let go, but it's a big deal that we can actually get on here and people like it and. They don't differentiate it from anything else on the radio. And then also, Ursa Sound did a great job mastering the tracks and making it beefy and all that. And they're actually highlighting or using our song River of Life as a sample work for themselves, which is even more exciting. It's like, dang, it's just,
I know.
What we're doing.
Well, what's really amazing is that when we do music, we do it to what we would like. We love the 90s. And I don't want to label us as a 90s band because that's not what we are, but we
River of Life is not a 90s band.
No.
Nothing in the 90s sounds like us. Come on.
No, it's certainly not. But I think we just have that style that we've developed out of a lot of 90s inspiration. We have our own thing going on. And so we like it. But we don't always know if other people like it because, of course your relatives and your friends are going to say, oh, yeah, this is awesome. Of course they're going to.
Yeah. And I don't really believe into that. See, I was testing River of Life out on ourstage.com, and I didn't tell anybody about it. And, again, it's been in the top 10 for 3.5 months. On its own accord, on people voting on it on their own, not knowing it's me or whatever. So, I like doing stuff like that, or doing internet radio stations and just trying it out and seeing if people like it. And a lot of people do. So that's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's like playing it on Kinetic and going on these shows, because Dave Uckley, before he interviewed us the other night, had played us on his show a couple of times, and on Kinetic, I love the chat box. You can get in the chat box, and by the way, if you're not there, go down, scroll down. You've already got it pulled up on your internet there so that you can hear our feed. Just scroll down to about the middle of the page there and type in your name and join in the chat. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, I would get in the chat box and talk with his listeners, and everyone in there was like, yeah, this sounds like it should be on the radio. This is great. I love it, Mm-hmm. So it's definitely, it's definitely good.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely not bad. Speaking of bad, Nick, there's a burning question that I've been wanting to ask you for a long time.
Yes.
Do you spit or swallow? But then you don't have to answer that right now, Nick. But second question, what was your worst vacation ever?
Oh, man, my worst vacation ever. I'm going to have to think about this for a second.
Which one? The spit or swallow, or the worst vacation ever?
No, the worst vacation ever. Oh, I know.
Okay.
This actually really wasn't, the vacation itself wasn't bad, but what happened was I was very young, and I took a trip with my parents up to Washington, D.C., and on the way we stopped we also went to Maryland, to Baltimore to see a friend of the family as well. So it was Washington and Baltimore that we went to. Saw the aquarium in Baltimore. It was really cool. First time I've been to Washington. It's really neat. Have you ever been to Washington?
Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, D.C. I'm sorry, D.C.
Yes. I saw George Carlin there a couple months before he died.
Oh, cool. Mm-hmm. Well, it's a fantastic city. It really is very clean. Obviously, the monuments are awesome to see. The history's amazing. Very cool place to visit. So, overall, the trip was fun. However, it was a car ride up there to get there, right? And as a kid, and still now, anytime I take a trip in the car when I'm not driving, I generally just go to sleep. Because it makes the trip go by a lot faster. Well, I laid down in the back seat, and I propped my head up on the handle, the armrest on the door, and slept all the way there. I woke up with a crick so bad. Literally, I had to hold my head all the way over against my left shoulder the entire trip. It was awful. Anytime I would move my head slightly, the pain would be so bad. It was paralyzing. I couldn't even sleep. It was so bad. So it was a day trip in Washington that we went to Baltimore and spent the night. Every single picture, my head is crooked to the side from the whole trip, and I was in such torture. We couldn't enjoy anything. Looking back, I kind of feel bad for them because they take me on this trip, and they could not have enjoyed a single second of that day. And then that night, my dad got so tired of the whole thing, he laid me down on the floor, and I'm looking up into his face. And he says, "Okay, I'm going to pop this crick out of your neck." And he takes my head on both sides, and he's about to do the chiropractor crack, And I'm scared. You're talking about like an 8 or 9 or maybe 10-year-old kid here. I can't remember exactly how old I was. And your dad's about to pop your neck violently to the side, and it's going to hurt. So that was probably my first. Oh, well, I know it felt amazing because he popped it, and then it felt great. I was like, oh, that's so much better. But of course, the whole trip was over at that point. So.
Well.
So what was yours?
My worst trip. Well, there was a best friend of mine before you. Well, I knew you. I knew you. I think we were friends. We were best friends at this point, but this was like my high school best friend, okay? And I was supposed to go down and visit him during, I think it was my first Christmas holiday. Yeah, it was, because I was about to Or, no, I just started dating... Bleep. I'll bleep that. I just started dating this girl. A girl that you and I both share. No, whatever.
That's the second time that's happened.
I know. God, I gotta stop that. Anyways. And it was after New Year's, and I told my friend I'd drive down and hang out with him and his girlfriend. So I get there, and I hadn't seen him in like 5 years, since I left Florida. And he had hair down to his shoulders, had this big beard, and his girlfriend, or his fiance, was freaking crazy, man. She was obnoxious, loud, messy. I mean, this place was a dump.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, man. It was like the only thing I could do to like make myself feel kind of normal is just play video games. Just not look at my surroundings. And I mean, she was bitter mean to him. Extremely, and he was there for her. She was going to school in Savannah, Georgia, and it was so bad. Like, and I think I paid for most of the dinner. Like, I paid for like Kentucky Fried Chicken one night and things like that. Yeah, I know. It's not that good. And I don't know. I just remember leaving, and then me and that girl that we're dating, a few months later, I wanted her to meet him because I thought it was a big part of my past, and thought it was important to meet. So we had been planning for weeks that we're going to come down here, and he said, yeah, come on down, we'll have you. I'll make sure the place is cleaned up and all that. Well, the week of, he doesn't answer any of my texts, my messages, doesn't answer the phone, doesn't answer any of my emails. So I said, all right, I'm coming down then, and I'll see you when I get there. I'm going to assume I'm going to just stick to the plan. About halfway down, it's about a 4-hour drive, he texts, says, don't come down.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So I was pretty angry, to say the least, and we turned around, and when we had to figure out our plan, like, where are we going to go now? It's spring vacation, spring break. Where the hell are we going to go? So we stayed at her folks' house for a few days, a couple more days than we planned, and went up to Delaware for a couple more days. So, I mean, it was just kind of like that part of his life, because now he's doing a lot better. He's a father now. He's got a wife, much better wife. So he's doing a bit better. He looks a lot happier, which is really great. But yeah, that probably was the worst vacation.
Is she better looking?
Yes, she is.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, not that we're shallow here.
No.
No. But, the reason why I asked this question, Nick, because I know it's pretty deep, pretty personal to you, and thank you for sharing that.
Hey, you're welcome.
I know it must have been hard.
That's what I do.
Hard. Well, have you ever ridden on Carnival Cruise Lines?
No, I've been on Royal Caribbean, but not Carnival.
Yeah, I used to work on Carnival.
Yeah, I know.
Carnival for 6 months. It was fun. It's a good time.
Yeah?
Yeah. But there's a boat earlier this week, that engine caught on fire. It was in the middle of its run, and it shut down.
Oh no!
And it had to be towed in to its pier. Excuse me. And I mean, as you can imagine, they had emergency power, but I gotta tell you, when I worked there, they used to warn us. They're like, don't use water when you don't need to, because their generator, which turns seawater into fresh water.
Right.
Like, one of them didn't work on our ship, so we could always run out of water at any time if we were mismanaging it. Huh. So I know how sensitive these ships are when it comes to that stuff. Well, this wonderful vacation, Carnival Triumph. This is from Alexander Abad Santos on the Atlantic Wire. He writes about this. And, I'm going to read this out to you because I think it's just really great.
I'm listening.
Okay. Well, the cruise company's boss claims that conditions aren't so bad, even 4 days after the mid-ocean stall. But reports from some of the 4,000 passengers depict the traveler agent's worst nightmare. Something like the lawlessness of Somalia, but maybe more like a floating Penn Station bathroom. And we're going to dive a little closer into what people were saying. So, sewage is everywhere. Well, ew. Passengers have reported sewage sloshing around in hallways, flooded rooms, and trouble getting enough to eat. There's poop in the bags. Jimmy Mollum, 63 years old, whose 37-year-old son Rob got married Saturday on board the ship, said his son told him by phone Monday night that there is no running water and few working toilets. He said passengers were given plastic bags to use for their business.
Oh, my God.
But people aren't using the bags? From what I understand, they're walking around in a lot of urine and fecal matter. And for those who don't know what that means poop.
What is this, Lord of the Flies?
Yeah. And the sewers are backing up. A mom whose husband and daughter are on board told CNN. This claim seemed to have merit as passengers texted ABC News on Monday that carpets were soaked with urine and toilets were overflowing. The fecal matter is getting stinkier. Other passengers reported no air conditioning inside cabins and an increased stink inside the ship from sick passengers and a lack of food refrigeration. And people have stopped being polite. It's like a bunch of savages on there, said Brent Nutt, whose wife Bethany is on board. If you get on the blogs, they're saying that people are fighting over food and stuff. If weather permitted, they'd be back on Thursday of last week. Yes. So, I don't know. I don't think our vacation is really that bothering. You know, like I might go on, another vacation like that. But if you haven't been on a cruise ship, listeners, I mean, it's tight quarters. It's like a floating hotel. That's what it is. Now, imagine that if the power goes out in your hotel, you can't leave the hotel because it's on a stranded island floating, and there's poop everywhere and urine. Imagine that. There's no way out. If you go and stay in your room, it's suffocating. It's hot. These boxes are in the center of a ship. It's hot in there. There's no air circulation without power because they have these machines that clean the air because, I mean, it's like an airplane, just disease just filters through all the time. I don't know, Nick.
I'm confused, okay? Now, did they, okay, the engine went down and they had to be towed in.
Yeah.
So they must have been a long way out.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why they had all this time.
They're middle of Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, my God. I just can't understand people walking around. They're on a boat. Why can't they piss off the side of the boat? Why are they doing it on the carpets?
Listen, it's just... Nick, you don't know, okay? It's like, why pee off the boat when you could pee on the boat? See, you pay for that, right? 2, actually, there's a big reason. It's health reason why you can't do that. Like Carnival can't just dump garbage and dump fecal matter all in the water because they could poison. I mean, just imagine a ship of 4,000 people just dumping 4,000 people's dump in urine into water where animals live.
Yeah, that's true.
I got to imagine that wouldn't be very healthy.
Well, but it's not. It's also not very healthy to walk around the boat in urine and fecal matter.
I agree, Nick. But remember, the animals are more important in this situation. Plus, the Gulf of Mexico has had plenty to deal with since the oil fiasco.
Now, here's my question. Okay, the power's out. What are they eating?
Power's out. I don't know. Cold sandwiches, cold meat, but I'm sure they're running out of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, surely they run out of that kind of... I mean, they got fruit, I'm sure, and sandwich stuff, yes, but, yeah, everything you had planned on being able to cook, now you can't.
It's just, I don't know, man. Because we've talked about that with their, what's it called? The not iced tea, lemonade. Like, do they give people bottled water now because they have to legally? Like, you guys messed up, and I got to imagine nobody's paying for anything.
Yeah, probably not. Didn't this happen to another Carnival cruise ship? Something, the engine went out or something had to get towed in recently?
Yeah, it happened last year. Yeah.
So when are they going to start? I mean, it seems like they should have some kind of preventative maintenance going on these ships or something. I mean, good Lord, Carnival.
They're gonna. Well, these ships, you know, they do a lot of traveling. This one's actually going to be canceling 12 more cruises on this ship so they can get it fixed. But I imagine it's going to take 12 cruises to clean poop and pee and fix the engine and all that. I mean, it's a hotel full of stank. It's not coming. Like, they might have to put new carpets on that thing. I mean, that's what you gotta. That's crazy.
My God, that's unreal. What would you do in this situation if you're out at sea? I want what you think your initial reaction would be. You're out at sea, the engine goes out, you're down for the count. What are you thinking? What's going through your mind?
I'm out on the sea. Dude, I don't know. Like, is there no internet? I mean, pretty much you're trying to stay outside as long as possible.
Yeah.
To breathe.
And I'm sure you know, after having been on, when I went on my cruise, you know, there's the pool up on the top deck, right? Most of them have a big pool. That thing was packed. I mean, the top deck was always packed. And that wasn't everybody on the ship.
Yeah.
So, I just can't imagine what this is like. If I'm out at sea and the engine goes out, I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
One of the biggest anxiety problems that I have is when I am supposed to be going... All right, when I'm supposed to be going home, I want to go home. The traffic and having to stop places, it burns me up. I can't stand it. I don't know what I would do if something like that happened to me.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know, like, what happens if you work there? Like, if I was a musician in this situation, like, what do you do? Because you're paid to be there. You're paid to put up with this stuff. They probably have you entertaining as much as you possibly can.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, especially somebody like me. I got to imagine if the power goes down, I'd be like, grab your acoustic guitar, get up on stage, and entertain people. But it's like, I can only do that for so long. I can't do that for 8 hours a day. I'd wreck my voice and couldn't do it the rest of the week.
Yeah. How long did you have to play? What were your sets like?
I played 4 to 5 hours a day, 6 days a week. 45 minutes most hours. Like, I usually played 1 full hour and then 15-minute break, 45 minutes, 15-minute break, 45 minutes, you know. It depended on the people. But see, that's the thing. People would tip the crap out of me to stick around. So I'd be like, all right, $20 a song. People would just give me $100. I'd be like, all right.
Oh, wow. Really?
5 more songs. Yeah, man.
Interesting. That's pretty cool.
Dude, drunk people on a cruise ship, especially in a casino, they got money.
Now, you said you played mostly in a piano lounge. Is that right?
I played in the piano lounge, for about a month and a half before they got it.
What were your... I mean, did you have a show that would come on that people came to and stayed the whole time? Or was it just you went up and played at this time and people came in and out the whole time?
It was about that, yeah. Like, people would sit around the table... and the thing was, the ship I was on was very young. Old. You get a lot of old people. Because, you know, kids don't go to Hawaii. It's too expensive. Kids don't go to Alaska. Who the hell parties in Alaska? You know? So, it's like a lot of... My average listener was like 40 years old. Like, no exaggeration. There would be the outlier who's 20, 22, 23. But for the most part, it was not that way. So... I ended up having to play a lot more oldies than I wanted to play because I had 130 new songs and maybe 70 oldies.
Oh, wow.
And that's what made me unique on this ship because I could play to younger people. Everybody else was like old country music, man. They were playing Johnny Cash and all that stuff. I walk the line, kind of deal. And I tried not to play what they played because then I was the only one doing something remotely new. Mm-hmm. Or actually new. I learn new songs every week to keep it interesting. But yeah, it wasn't. It's just in that situation, you just do what you got to do. But I had great fans. You know, like I had people that showed up. I remember my first cruise ever. You know, that was probably the most intimidated I ever been. You know, because I didn't have enough songs to get through a week. Meaning, you know, I had 150 songs when I started, and that's enough for about 2 days of music. And then I had 3 more days to work or whatever, or 7 days, so I had to keep rotating, which sucked. And then people want to hear the same 30 songs over and over and over. But I had a crowd of people that hung out with me the entire first cruise. Like, it was the same 20, 30 people that just hang out in the atrium. And then the piano bar guy got so drunk, they replaced him with me. And they fired him. No, he did. He got really drunk and started cussing at people. So
What?
So I replaced him, and then I got Employee of the Month because of that. Because I just got done doing a 5-hour set, and then they're like, hey, can you come in and do another 3-hour set? I'm like, I guess. I mean, it was my first week, so I'm not going to say no. I'm like, I didn't know what my voice could take or not.
See,
so
my concern doing that, you mentioned rotating the songs, would be that people would not like it because they were hearing the same songs. How was that? Did you get, I mean, was it fine? Did people not really care? Or did you have to really try to measure out when you were going to play certain stuff? Or did you just learn a bunch of new songs?
Well, yeah, I mean, over time I did learn new. After my first week, I got to Alaska, I signed on the internet, and I downloaded like 50 new songs, and I said, all right, I'm going to learn these. Because I had a computer with all my tabs and stuff and lyrics in front of me, so I could quickly learn these songs. If I knew the melody, I could learn the song fast. So I did that, and I actually expanded my song list to about 250 songs.
Oh, wow.
Which did get me through, yeah. So it wasn't too bad. And with people, most people weren't there to, like, you know, they're just there to socialize and kind of hear songs that they really like or know. And, you know, every cruise was a hit and miss, man. You know, there would be ones where I'd be God, and then there'd be ones where, you know, nobody was showing up. But, you know, the great thing about people not showing up is I get to go back home after 3 hours, you know, so I get back to my rooms. So, and it was funny because, the bartender that worked with me, her name was Nina. She was from the Philippines.
Nina,
she was a really pretty girl, really, really sweet. And one day, the cruise director came in, and he thought I was doing such a good job. He told her to give me whatever I wanted. So she grabbed the most expensive shot that, like, she didn't even ask me. She said, no, he bought this for you. You have to drink it. It was the strongest alcohol they had. And I take a little sip, and I feel like I was hitting the head with a sledgehammer. and I'm like, I had to swallow it because I was like, well, my boss bought it for me. I can't say no. And I drink it, and then I was feeling loose the rest of the night. I'll tell you that. Just a little shot.
I guess the answer to your question would be swallow.
Yeah. I definitely swallowed in that situation.
You know, when I went on a cruise, the one band that I saw, they played a lot of oldies. They were good. I mean, it kind of reminded me of Bruce Springsteen, the way he looks now. You know, he's kind of like a really cool old guy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But he's still old. Well, that's how this guy was, and he was good. I mean, he did. He got up there and rocked it out, and they were tight, and they sounded great. It was all oldies though, but I did know it was a round room. Mm-hmm. They stood on a stage in the middle of the round room, and you'd sit around them on the benches that were all on the circle. And I went and saw them a couple of times, and they kept playing the same stuff. It was like the same 20 songs that I heard those guys play, it seemed like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because everybody, especially in a band situation, everybody's got to play Sweet Child of Mine. And, you know, and songs like that.
Yeah.
Because people aren't going to let it down. There was a band on this ship when I started. They were a complete Filipino band, and they played all American songs. And it was really funny because they would do some interesting ones, like, can you feel the love tonight? But the one song that they did amazing, like hands down the best band I'd ever seen this, was Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, really?
They did all perfect harmonies, because they all sang. There was 5 of them. They all sang perfect harmonies. They do the solos, the drum, everything. I watched that in awe. I was like, oh my God. And they got paid a lot less. I think they made collectively less than me.
Wow.
Because I was a soloist, so I was essentially taking the place of a band. But then a band replaced them, an American band, and that's what they play. They play like 80s, 90s, and I remember the New Year's show. You get up on the deck, and there's just thousands of people, just dancing around, going crazy, kissing each other, and all that, and it was a sight to remember.
Wow.
And then an iceberg came, and we hit it, and they all died, and it was pretty terrible.
Have you seen the guy on YouTube that sings Bohemian Rhapsody? He sings and plays every single part, and he has a different camera for all of the parts, and he multiplies them as the song goes along, and it ends up being this one screen of all of the same guy singing all the parts. It's really, really good, too. He's fantastic.
I've not seen that.
I'll have to try to find the link and send it to you. It's really cool.
You'll have to imagine what people like Freddie Mercury would have been able to do had they had the technology that we have today.
Oh, I know.
I mean, yeah, because, he essentially did that back then, but it was so hard to do that. Nowadays, shit, yeah, he could do that every 5 seconds, you know?
I know. It's really insane. Queen songs they're all like, I wonder how many different vocals he's doing on some of those tracks. It sounds like there's 30 people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I want to ride my bike, I want to ride my bike.
The other thing is that they didn't have auto-tune back in the day like we do. He had to pretty much nail that stuff.
No, he had to nail that stuff. There's no if about it. Even 15 years ago, you had to nail that stuff. Yeah. There's no faking it. You had a lot of time in the studio to do it. That's the thing. You don't have to spend that kind of time in a studio anymore either, which I do not. Hell nah. I will say, when we recorded River of Life, I finished the basis of the song in 8 hours. When we from writing to recording, it was all straight. Let's do it. And then we decided we're going to put out this EP, and I was like, all right, I got to go back and do some changes here. And I think we ended up redoing all the guitar tracks again, and even fixing some drum stuff. We brought you in, because at the time you weren't working on these songs with me. It was just me and, Phil and a couple other things. And so we went back and did this, and then I ended up spending about 3 times the amount of time I spent on it originally, just cleaning it up and fixing it and making it sound really good. And not auto-tune. I wasn't really auto-tuning or anything like that.
And even with all those fixes, we still managed to do it in a pretty short amount of time.
Yeah. And for free.
Yeah.
I didn't spend any money. The money that you could argue I've spent was my time. But, it's either that or play video games, so...
Yeah, right, exactly. That's why we hope it'll pay off, so you should check it out. It's ReverbNation.com/Suburban Myth. Help us spread the love on Twitter as well. Just tweet us at To The Echo Radio, #Suburban Myth.
Yes. Make us famous, and we'll give you a cookie.
But maybe just one cookie. Because the thing is, those are my cookies, and I'm just not into giving them out, so...
Yeah.
You really got to work hard for the cookies.
She works hard
for the cookies. So hard. Okay, go ahead.
You know what one of my favorite cookies, Nick, is? When I was a kid... Remember the Postberry dough Christmas cookies, the Christmas tree in the middle?
Yeah.
A slab of dough, and you just cut it down the middle.
Uh-huh.
And then it was just done cookies.
I love that. This is so wonderful.
I know. Just 30 pounds of fat. It's amazing.
You know what my favorite thing was back in the day?
What?
Speaking of fundraisers from earlier on the show, you'd get those tubs of cookie dough.
Oh,
Did you ever do that? And you can just spoon it, man, all day long.
Cookie dough, buddy.
I love cookie dough.
Oh, me too. Me too, my friend.
That's probably one of my favorite ice creams. Ice cream with cookie dough in it.
The thing, I don't get it that often, but I have sometimes I have a craving for it, and it's just amazing. You know, one of my favorite ice creams, not that we need to go back to the ice cream topic, because there's a not Ben & Jerry's, Baskin Robbins right down the street from me, like a dedicated Baskin Robbins store. Mm-hmm. And I go in there, and sometimes I feel really fat, and I get a Reese's Cup sundae. And what they do is they pour like this liquid peanut butter on the bottom. I don't know what this stuff is, but it's amazing. They drop like 4 Reese's Cups worth of stuff, grind it in this Reese's Cup ice cream, all put down. Then they put some chocolate syrup on it, and then they put some more of that peanut butter stuff on it, and then they put whipped cream on the top, and then they put some more drizzle on it, and they drizzle some more Reese's Cup pieces on it, and then they shove it in my fat face, and I eat it until I die.
Oh my God, I'm drizzling right now.
That is inappropriate, Nick.
Now, tell me what this is, because I have a Baskin Robbins right down the road, and I'm going to go drizzle it in their store.
It's a Reese's sundae. Reese's Cup sundae. It's like $6 up here, so I imagine it's going to be like $2 down
here. Yeah, probably about $2 here.
But it's like a big, tall cup, and it's amazing. I always feel like such a loser eating it, but it's so good.
What's your favorite candy? I think Reese's is probably that, and Butterfingers competes for my favorite candies. Reese's is delicious.
Reese's is my favorite candy. Yeah. No comparison to anything else.
Now, I'm also a big M&M fan. I actually have an entire collection of M&M dispensers.
Yeah, but M&Ms with peanuts are really the only ones I love, or the M&Ms with peanut butter.
Have you tried the M&Ms with pretzels?
No.
They're good. Very good.
I don't know.
Very good.
But I don't care what you're saying.
The M&M with peanut butter, though, that is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. That's pretty good. Yeah. What about Reese's Pieces?
Oh, man. Do you remember the Reese's Pieces commercials?
Which ones?
Well, they were just I'm talking like early 90s creepy Reese's Pieces commercials where they would like make different animals and stuff out of the pieces, and they would roll all over the screen, and it had weird music on it. You remember those?
I'd have to see one. I probably do, because I watched a lot of TV as a kid.
They were strange. They were very strange commercials.
Wow.
Yeah, they used to kind of freak me out, actually.
Speaking of nostalgia stuff, you know what I bought yesterday?
What?
Tell me. Ago?
Tell me.
I actually traded in my PlayStation 3 for...
What?
A white PlayStation 3.
Oh!
Why didn't you just kill me? Your punishment must be more severe.
One time I had a white PlayStation.
But then I got a black one. The thing was, my black one, I've had it since 2009. I bought it actually when I was working on the cruise ship. Hey, it all ties together. Bought it in Alaska. They just dropped the price on it to $300 at the time. And, it's been a great system. The other day I actually backed everything up. But the problem is the disk drive was starting to go, and it's one of those self-retractable disk readers.
Yeah.
And it kicks in, kicks out. Mm-hmm. Well, it would grab my disk and it wouldn't let go until I restarted it, and then it would kick it out again.
That's what she said.
Yeah, well, but it did happen. So after a while, I was looking online, and they had this thing. Because the thing about GameStop, if you go at the right time, they don't always rip you off.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they only rip you off sometimes.
Yeah, well, they rip you off a lot of the time. So, again, I could probably get more if I just did it on Craigslist. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, it's a tax write-off because you don't get taxed on the trade-in value, So that's how you got to look at this stuff. Anyways, so I make sure I get this disk drive working correctly all the way, okay?
Yeah.
Making sure, because when they check it, they only check it once. They just make sure it works. Okay, we'll give you your value. But if it stalls, then I wouldn't have gotten the money I was going in for. So
they check it all the way.
They do. So I went there, brought my PS3. I brought my Wii too. I'm not playing that anymore. It's done. And he first thing he grabs is the PlayStation 3. I'm like, oh God, please, please, please. And he puts a disc in, grabs it, fine. Starts playing the game. He's like, okay. Wipes the crud off of my controller because there's a lot of crud on it. I didn't even clean it. Why should I clean it? That's why they get all that money. Then he hits the eject button. Comes out. Yes. And he's like, okay, great. So that's $60 for the console, but there's a $75 trade-in value added to that. So I got that $130, and then the Wii Ford, the games for the Wii, and all that. I ended up getting to about $210 of trade-in credit towards the $300 PS3, the new one.
Wow.
And the new PS3 comes with a 500 gigabyte hard drive, a year subscription to PlayStation Plus, which actually lets you download a bunch of games for free.
Yep.
So what I did was I downloaded a bunch of games that I've bought. Actually, they actually have a sale going on PS Network. I don't know if you know this, Nick. $5 for every PlayStation 1 Final Fantasy game. So I got Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, Tactics.
Tactics is awesome.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger. You need to play Chrono Trigger. It's a good game.
Yeah.
So got all that stuff. And it's a really great system. But what's cool about it, too, because, the other one, there was a self-retractable disc. This one just has a top tray, and it just slides to the side. So there's no way your disc can get stuck in there.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing with all of those motorized components. I always hesitate on them. I'd rather have something that doesn't have a motor.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they were trying to find a way when they made the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, try to find a way to make it look futuristic and special and cool. Like the Xbox 360 had with the tray popped out and did that. Well, PlayStation 3 had to top that with its own self-retracting disc reader. So they were doing all this zing and zang to, whoa, wow, okay. Yeah. But then over time, they're like, okay, let's build the exact same system for a lot cheaper, make it a lot smaller, and then we'll make a lot of money.
Now, I was going to say, I remember when they redid the PS2, it was that really small version. Is it the same thing? It's a lot smaller, or what?
Well, this one's about a third smaller than the other one. It's still big, though. It's as big as it should be, I think.
That's what they did with the PS2. Whenever they redid that one, they had a slide tray instead of power tray.
Right. Well, in the PS2, the components over time, they sold so many of those that they could afford to really design those components to get smaller. The thing with this is it's like a computer. They can't make this thing much smaller. It's got graphics cards. It's got cores, There's no room to squeeze it into something that small.
Right.
So, but it's a really nice system. It looks good in white. Also I bought some headphones with a microphone built on, because I was using a Bluetooth, but I got to tell you, man, headphones with a microphone's the way to go, because you actually hear the sounds of explosions going on around you.
Oh, cool.
When you're playing Call of Duty, you're like, oh God, and somebody's like, look out behind you, and you're like,
Well, Derek, we need to hit our last break before our final segment. Real quick, we'll say it's To the Echo Radio Show, KineticHiFi.com studios. We're doing a little different format tonight, going a little bit longer on these segments. So we only got one left, but we're glad that you're sticking around with us. We're going to spotlight the music of Blakely Leonard. But it's me, Nick O'Kelly, and Derek Daisy with me as always. You should check out us on the iTunes Store as well as Spreaker.com. You can tweet us at To the Echo, and also you can get in the chat box tonight as well. But if you're going to tweet us at To the Echo, you should hashtag Suburban Myth, and then check us out on ReverbNation.com/Suburban Myth. A lot of plugs, but that's the way it is. Derek, since you bought a white PS3, I thought I would leave you with a sentiment before we go to break. Once you go black, you may never go back, but once you go white, you'll never again fight. It's To the Echo Radio. We'll be right back.
But it's time to face the truth. I will never be with you.
Thanks for tuning in to KineticHiFi.com. Stay tuned in. Thanks.
Hey, listen, this is Louie. If you've been thinking about a pizza, and you probably are right now because you haven't had a decent meal since that guy did that thing on the moon, you know what I'm talking, you should drop in or call Zappos. If you haven't eaten a Zappos pizza, then you haven't eaten pizza. I don't know what you've been eating. Could be raccoons, could have been squirrels. Who knows? I don't know. Louie says, hey, listen, just give him a call at 843-722-9911 or swing by at 708 King Street in downtown Charleston. Leave the pies to the pros. Eat it, Zappos.
Key Cab Service knows you like beauty. That's why we only hire the most attractive men and women to drive our taxis. So when you need to get from point A to point B in style, call 270-4790. That's Key Cab at 270-4790. Or visit the website at keycabtaxi.com. And remember, you'll know us by our smile.
Did you know that dysfunctions of the nervous system are often leading causes of poor posture, disease, fatigue, and much more? Dr. Brett Kahn of Neurologic Integrative Health starts from the beginning, working with patients to get a good picture of their past, present, and future health before embarking on the road of lasting well-being. Dr. Kahn brings together all aspects of a person's health to determine the best way to get results in the shortest amount of time. If you are suffering from low back pain, neck pain, pinched nerves, maybe a recent auto injury, headaches, migraines, shoulder injuries, knee injuries, numbness, tingling, repetitive stress, give Dr. Brett Kahn a call at 843-400-4087, 843-400-4087, or visit neurologichealth.com. You can even drop by the office at 874 Whipple Road, Suite 200 in Mount Pleasant.
Spring is almost here. It's a perfect time to have a party with your friends. It's also a great time to stock up on all your Mary Kay favorites or find new ones. Host a Mary Kay party by February 28th and receive 20% off any order for the rest of the year. Contact Lori Pepper, your independent Mary Kay beauty consultant, for details at 843-709-8109 or at mkbylori.com.
Do you love your HOA? Well, if the thought of your HOA doesn't bring a smile to your face, it's time to consider Community Management Group. A 5-time Alfred P. Sloan Foundation Award winner, Community Management Group is the only accredited association management company based in Charleston. Guided by strong core values, Community Management Group goes above and beyond the minimum requirements to deliver an unparalleled life-enhancing experience to more than 110 communities. Whether you're an irritated community member or overburdened HOA volunteer, it's time you stopped living for your neighborhood and started enjoying a true sense of community. You can love your HOA. Contact Community Management Group today by calling 843-795-8484. That's 843-795-8484. Or simply visit cmgcharleston.com. That's cmgcharleston.com. Community Management Group. Building community.
To be pampered is to be treated with excessive care and attention, and that's just what you'll get at Shem Salon Spa, named Salon of the Year by Modern Salon Magazine. With over 20 years of experience pampering and beautifying the Low Country, Lori and her team focus on the needs of each client. Shem Salon Spa is a full-service boutique offering the latest in color and artistic hair creations for women and men. You can enjoy a massage, pedicure, and manicure in the most innovative and most relaxing spa experience anywhere. Renew and reinvent yourself. Located at 506 Live Oak Drive in Mount Pleasant, behind Page's Okra Grill. Call Shem Salon Spa today at 843-606-2506 or visit the website at SHEM, that's SHEM, salonspa.com. Call them today, 843-606-2506.
Yeah, that's right. It's what happens when you cross bad with good. You're listening to KineticHiFi.com. It's good.
Welcome back into the final segment of To the Echo Radio Show. I'm Derek Daisy. With me is Nick O'Kelly. He's calling in from the moon.
Well, it's a little bit dank and desolate up here, Derek. There's no air, and I'm slowly running out of oxygen.
Well, that's okay. All right, so anyways. I don't mind that at all. So I'm glad we did that. But I thought we'd start this final segment. As we were saying, we wanted to spotlight some music. Now, Nick and I come from a college called Catawba College. Went there for music business. I started as a music business major and finished. Nick started as something else and became a music business major, much to
I
his
saw the light.
Yeah, I guess. The light of bills. No. And we went to school with some really talented people.
We really did.
You know, actually, in the 5 years I was there, we went placed in the John Lennon songwriting contest 4 out of 5 years. So or was it 4 out of 3 or 3 out of 4 years, something like that. All right. So the first year, freshman year, Dennis Reed won first. Sophomore year, I won second. Third year, did anybody win the third year?
I don't think so.
All right, so then the fourth year, Dusty Kempf and what's his name? Dusty Kempf, Katie Bragg won second.
That's right.
And this other guy, Jules
Mason.
Yeah, Mason. Yes,
Mason.
Jewett.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Mason won.
Hewitt.
So we had 5 wins in 4 years. So that was.
And let me interject and just say also, I didn't mean to interrupt, but Dennis has gone on to do some pretty cool stuff. He was on America's Got Talent with his band Inspire the Fire.
Inspire the Fire. Yeah.
And then Dusty Kempf is also a radio DJ. Mm-hmm. Big time radio DJ, I think in Charlotte.
No,
and
I think he's in Nashville, isn't she?
Oh, I'm sorry. She was in Charlotte. She went to Nashville, and she's gotten to meet all kinds of people. She interviewed Kristen Bell, and she's always tweeting pictures with bands and all kinds of stuff. So, not just placing well, but the people in Catawba have also found a lot of success for themselves. Jessica Nicole also was an actress a couple of years before us. Is on Fringe, the show on Fox.
Oh, cool.
So a lot of good musical talent and creative talent coming out of Catawba for sure.
Absolutely. And the person we're going to talk about today, Blakely Leonard, he actually he's an award-winning songwriter or singer-songwriter. Not the John Lennon songwriting contest, but that's not a big deal. It's not. It was a good scholarship, but really that means nothing. Because honestly, even though I placed where I placed, the girl who beat me, I really don't think deserved to win. But I think the guy who lost to me, I thought had a better song than I did, and I was like, eh. But anyways, Blakely.
Well, like anything, it's kind of a popularity contest.
Yeah, it is. And she went to Berkeley, and one of the judges was from Berkeley. Anyways, Blakely went to college with us, and we're going to be playing a song from his new EP. I think it's the Basement EP. And which is pretty exciting. It's a 4-song EP. One song that really caught my ear because he sent it to me. Well, I heard it on his page. I mean, he promotes it on Facebook and all that. And don't worry, we'll give you all these places, Blakely Leonard Music, or Facebook.com/Blakely Leonard Music. You'll be able to check out all his updates there. He's also got a website, BlakelyLeonard.com. But anyways, yeah, he's a really, soothing voice, acoustic folk country kind of guy, you know. Really soft, but really interesting lyrics and really cool mood. It's like he writes the way I wish I had the confidence to write like all the time. Because my favorite songs to write are ballads, but I can't write a bunch of ballads. People give me crap. I can't get away with it. But
I'll say it's also a nice ironic name for his band too, being a folky musician, the Clay Monsters. You think of natural and the earth with clay, but yet they're monsters, so obviously they're storming the music scene. I like it.
Yeah, no, that's really awesome. But you know, he's in that band. He also performs a solo act, but now he resides in Greensboro, North Carolina. He appeared.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he appeared in American Songwriter and Intune magazine. And you remember Intune magazine? We used to get those in college all the time.
That's right.
And he was selected as the You Are Next artist by Notion Music.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so lots of cool things going on for him. He's been playing lots of little shows. And again, you check out his website to make sure you're on top of it. I mean, since this show's broadcast mainly in South Carolina, if you got a car, man, drive up to Durham, Winston-Salem, or Chapel Hill. He's got a show March 13th at the Mordico Music Hall. On June 8th, Twin City Rib Fest, Winston-Salem. And June 21st, the Kraken Bar at Chapel Hill. So a really cool band. But this song is a really interesting, reflective song. We'll talk about it after we hear it here. But just thought to give the shout out and check it out. So this is Blakely Leonard and his song from his new EP. The song's called Circles.
Messed up and got away from myself. Fell in love with a girl who was in love with herself. Still it comes to me as a surprise, though I knew all along I was just wasting time. Sometimes love just ain't enough. Learn when to give it all up. I keep thinking you're on the right line. Turns out you were just going in circles this time. Simple words come from simple people. Now you both said some words, at least mine has some meaning. Came fast like a freight train steaming. Then summer was here, and then soon you were leaving. Sometimes love just ain't enough. You gotta learn when to give it all up. Keep thinking you're on the right line. Turns out just going in circles this time. Out of my life like you owned it. In some ways you did, but in some ways you stole it. Now and then I get a little jealous, thinking about your new man and how he's so much better. Sometimes love just ain't enough. Give it all up. Keep thinking you're on the right line. Turns out you were just going in circles this time. I keep thinking you're on the right line. Turns out you were just going in circles this time.
You know, that really is a beautiful song. I really like it. You know, it reminds me of something you would write. And let me give you some examples. I'm in love with a girl who's in love with herself.
Yeah, that line stuck out to me. Right, that's what made me listen to the entire song, because I was like, okay. Love with a girl in love with herself. I'm like, man, that's a line. That's a
good song. That's a good line. And also, I really do like bands that find a way to pay tribute to other songs or other bands. And maybe he's not doing this intentionally, but the beginning of the hook is Sometimes Love Just Ain't Enough, which of course is the hook for another song. But he uses it in such a way that just makes a good use of that hook. It's not his hook, but I don't know. I really like that. I think that's good songwriting. I like the rhyme scheme a lot. He's using Freight Train is Steamin' and You Were Just Leaving in the second verse, which is really cool. I love the bass. I think the bass has just this, it's got this twang, twang, tong, tong kind of tone to it that just really kind of brings back together what he's doing vocally and that guitar as well. I like it.
Well, it's a stand-up bass.
Definitely. It sounds fantastic. Yeah.
His little band is like a little four-piece, like him on the acoustic guitar. He's got a electric guitar player, stand-up bass and a little drummer. Just a really tastefully done song. I mean, it really caught my ear hearing it, and I was really excited. I was like, okay, so we got a spot like this, because I can't get his album from his show, because obviously he lives down at he lives in North Carolina, so it's hard for me to get an EP from him, and I wanted to buy it on iTunes, and I couldn't get it, and I'm like, how can I get this song? Okay, spotlight this song, I'm going to get this song, yes.
Now, there are a couple of other songs on his website here that I'm looking at. Are those not on the EP?
I think they are. I haven't listened through them entirely, because Circles was one that I was like, I'm definitely going to show that. But I've liked a few of his songs. There was a song he wrote the last time we played like a show where we were in the same show together in college. That happened a few times. He has a song called Love Is a Lie, and I thought it was always such a really cool song, and he still owes it to me.
Yeah, that one's on here. Love Is a Lie.
Yeah, that's a cool old song, man, that he wrote. So, I mean, yeah, it's just really cool. Very, very calm music. But you know what? I just really appreciate that when somebody can pull that off. And it really matches his voice really well. There was a song that I said, man, it sounds just like you as a writer. Or as a singer, really. I can't think of it right now. I used to tell him that, though, and he was like, I'll have to hear it someday. But it's just how that
what a
tone
musician
voice.
Answer.
Yeah. Well, I'll check that out sometime.
Yeah. You were talking, I don't know if it was last week, but we were talking about coming back to the guitar rock age. And I think you can see that reality with examples such as this. There's Mumford & Sons right now.
Yeah, they won Album of the Year.
Yeah, that's a really folky band, and I imagine probably an inspiration here to Blakely of some sorts as well. But you see these folklore bands, these guys starting to get this acoustic sound back. It's cycling back through, and that's what started the rock phase, in the 70s anyway.
Yeah. It's funny about what is it, the Mumford & Sons, is every song banjo, man. It's just like they just get ready to show him off. He's just like standing there on the side, all tight, just waiting, and they're like, go! Every single song he does that.
I really like that one song that they do, though. Their big hit. I don't know the name of it, but
it's
good.
Will Wait?
Yeah, I Will Wait, yeah. Yeah, there you go.
There's another one, Lion Man, which is like, I really it up this time.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yes, that's a really good one, yeah. That was their probably first big one that came out, I think. That kind of got people to listen to them.
And I like that.
That sounds Irish, I think.
Well, they're English. They're from the UK.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know if you just look at their picture, man. It just screams UK.
You know, I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about them. I've heard the songs on the radio, and obviously I've heard the name, and I saw they won the Album of the Year. I didn't watch all of the Grammys, though, so I didn't realize they were British. But they definitely have a nice little Celtic kind of sound going on. It's very good stuff. But Blakely definitely, I think he's mastered this sound. Like you said, his voice is very good for that. It's good. I like it a lot.
Yeah, so definitely check it out. Go check him out at his shows. Pick up his EP. It's called Basement EP. Really great songs. I look forward to hearing some more things from him in the future. Keep an eye on our Facebook page for our interview with him. It'll be more of a basic question and answer kind of deal, but you'll be able to find out more about them. Just be excited. It's really great. Look forward to that. And this is something we're going to try to do on every show going forward, try to spotlight a new band or a new artist. This song really caught my attention last week, and I had to do something about it, and they just released it, so I thought it would be, a good way to help out with his little promotional push right now. So
that's right. So if you want to check out his song Circles, or any of the other ones that are also on the EP as well as his website, you can go to BlakelyLeonard.com. That's spelled BLAKLEYLEONARD, all one word.com, and also Facebook.com/Blakely Leonard Music.
How sweet.
Yes. How sweet it is to be loved by you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Never heard that before, but that's really nice of you.
Derek, it's a time in the show when I've gotten to start introducing you. It's not something I do as often as you introduce me, because I'm a little more animated with my segments, but you've come up with a good one here. I enjoy it. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. Observations with Derek Daisy.
Sometimes all I want to do is walk into a McDonald's, put my money on the table, get my double quarter pounder with cheese, with fries, a sweet tea, maybe a McFlurry, sit down and enjoy the food. But I can't, because the way society has built this place, I feel like I'm walking into a drug ring with a bunch of children making cocaine, slicing up and getting heroin, and I feel like I'm like, could I have a cup of heroin so I can snort it up here? Yeah, I feel like I'm a drug dealer here. I sit down there, I'm self-conscious of eating this sandwich because I'm afraid everybody's looking at me like, oh, you fat bastard. Oh, you're going to die of a heart attack. This is terrible. Like, I feel like when I eat this stuff, I can't even be happy about it anymore. It used to be a thing about pleasure to me. Pleasure. I used to, as a child, I used to get so excited. Mommy, I want a Happy Meal. And my mother, she would go down there and she would get me a Happy Meal. And you know what? I'd get one of those Fred Flintstone toys, the little houses. I'd be so excited. And I'd get all these other toys, get to eat my little French fries, eat my chicken nuggets. Life was amazing. I could eat my Pepsi. That was nutrition to me. But I can't do that anymore. I walk in there, I see 15,000 calories for this, milkshake. I don't want to know that. I just want to eat it, walk out of the place and feel good about myself for once. You know what? I've earned it. I've worked 40 hours this week, damn it. Why can't I eat this? So, I just don't understand why we've villainized this place. It's like, I don't want to eat a salad at McDonald's. That defeats the purpose. Besides the point, the salad actually has more calories than most of the stuff on their menu. I just want to eat this stuff in peace, feel good about myself, and get a little fatter in the end, okay?
Well, very good. It's also true in buffets.
Yeah! I I can't even go to a buffet more than twice or like 2 or 3 times a year because of feeling like I'm too big of a fatty. And you know what I do? When I go to these all-you-can-eat buffets, there's a strategy here, people. So bear with me. You go to an all-you-can-eat buffet, make sure there's seafood. Because when there's seafood, you're not going to get full for hours. And I sit there, I grab any oyster, any clam, any shrimp, anything like that I can eat. And I will eat or snow crab legs especially, pay the extra $3 because they get, that's where they lose all their money. And you just eat piles and piles of this stuff. And then you get bored, and then you go eat some chicken and broccoli, and you fill the freak up, and then you leave. That's how you got to do this stuff, and I'm afraid to go because I'm just like, because my wife is always like, oh, they're looking at you, like all these Chinese people glaring at me in anger, like just so pissed off that I'm just eating all of their snow crab legs. You fat mother, like they just can't stand it. And then you know what I do to piss them off even more? I shove my stupid face in some pudding. That's right. Chocolate pudding and some tapioca pudding too. Yeah, I eat that. And then I get the banana with strawberries. Yeah, and I mix it up in there like that. I get that fake ice cream out of that machine and I just eat it all. For $12.99.
Yeah. The Europeans love going to buffets when they come over here, and because they're fascinated by the fact that Americans sit around and glorify food the way that we do. But you notice the people are always so sick in those buffets too. And they're fat, they're sick, they're nasty.
I'm not.
I'm sorry if you like buffets, but I call it as I see it here. We're talking about observations.
I'm just, when I was a kid, not really a kid, I was almost an adult. I was 17 in high school, summertime. Me and my friend Connor, we would just go to the Panda Buffet, all-you-can-eat buffet, and this is bad. When they know your name and they say, oh, you'll come back for more, that's when it's bad. That's when you need to stop going to an all-you-can-eat buffet because you've been there far too many times, fatty.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the episode of The Simpsons where Homer goes to an all-you-can-eat seafood buffet?
No.
And it's so great. Now, Marge, she doesn't want to go. It starts off bad because she doesn't want to go. And they go to the seafood buffet. The first thing you see him doing is going and grabbing an entire pan of shrimp. And the guy at the counter's like, no, sir, please don't take the whole pan. Well, anyway, they're sitting in this restaurant late, and he's just eating, and finally they kick him out because he's eating, and he goes out kicking and screaming, no, it's not all I can eat. And he goes and gets a lawyer and sues the restaurant.
Well, I mean, it's like I understand some people are morbidly obese, but I just want to feel good sometimes about eating a little bit of food. It's like, but don't you feel that way when you get it? You're just like, God, I just shaved 10 years off of my life just now.
I actually have a McChicken in my refrigerator right now.
This is why we'll never be in shape. This is why Suburban Myth will never win the Good Looking Award. That's for sure. They won't invite us to shows like the Grammys because we're not cute enough or pretty enough to.
I always figure if Edwin McCain can do it, we can do it.
Yeah, Edward McCain hasn't done it in years. He plays to a room. He plays to a room of 500 people a show.
But when he did do it, he was the fattest and the best at it than anyone else.
See, only a fat guy would come up with something like that. Because good-looking guys don't need to do that. They'd be like, listen, I'll be whatever I want to be to you, baby.
I am certainly not going to be anything for you.
And don't cry on my shoulder. This is a $300 shirt, so you better back off.
Oh, Derek, that was such a passionate observations. I don't know if we have time for suggestions. We might have to put that off. We're going to let this be the Derek Daisy hour tonight.
No,
that was good.
No, we have time.
That was so good.
We have time. No,
I don't want to dwarf it with your awesomeness.
You're not going to dwarf anything, Nick. I need you to come back. I need you to be a partner here, buddy. A partner. What have you been thinking about this week?
Well,
with
Derek,
Nick O'Kelly and suggestions for the mind.
Derek, sometimes you get $1 back. Now, I always like getting dollars back because dollars is money. I mean, you don't want to turn down money, right? The problem I have with dollars is that they have to stay in my pocket, you see, and that's where my hands are. My hands get sweaty. When my hands get sweaty, the dollars get moist. And when the dollars get moist, you have things like this happen, where you tear the dollar in half. Now, what am I supposed to do with this? Am I supposed to tape it up and feel like a homeless meth head turning a dollar bill in that's all taped up? I can't pay for anything with that. What am I supposed to go to the dollar store? They're going to laugh me out of the place. So my suggestions for the mind is photocopiers for dollars. Portable ones.
That's a felony, isn't it?
I didn't say you should do it.
Yes, you did. You just said that.
No. No, I didn't.
Okay.
I said it was a suggestion. You do with the information whatever you feel like.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
I wasn't expecting that, especially when you pulled the dollar in half in front of me. It was like, oh.
No, I actually tore it in half the other day. I got very upset with myself. I was going to buy a burger with that dollar.
Now you can buy half a burger, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. The buck stops here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been To the Echo Radio Show, and I tell you, it's been fantastic. It's been lovely. It's been fun. Derek, I've had a good time.
Thank you. You too. It was really fun with you too.
Yeah, it was. Ladies and gentlemen, it's To the Echo Radio. You can find us on Facebook.com/To the Echo Radio Show. You can tweet us on Twitter @To the Echo Radio, and you should do so. And also hashtag it up with Suburban Myth. Hashtag Suburban Myth. Spread the hashtag love on Twitter right after you go to ReverbNation.com/Suburban Myth and check out our new single, River of Life, which will be available for download on the iTunes Store February 18th. The time is growing closer than ever before. And March 18th as well, the release of our very first EP, Plastic Souls. It's Suburban Myth. We hope you'll join us on the music marketplace also. Please go check out BlakelyLeonard.com and Facebook.com/BlakelyLeonardMusic. Blakely, we really appreciate you letting us spotlight your music today. We hope it does something for you in the future.
Yes. And Nick, did you hit the Weekend Warrior package there?
I was just about to.
Okay.
We are halfway through the Weekend Warrior package. It starts on Friday afternoons 5 to 6 with Geek Explosion and Drew Howard. It continues Saturdays 12 to 2. The Weekend Sit and Spin, myself and Drew Howard. Like I said, 12 to 2. Right after us, we've started pitching this guy because we like him. His name is Jared. It's Healthy You. 2 to 4 right after the Weekend Sit and Spin, and then it's followed by To the Echo Radio Show with me and Derek Daisy. You just listened to it 8 to 11 on Saturday nights, and we finish up the Weekend Warrior package on Sunday evenings with From the Bleachers, the most awesome sports radio talk show ever. So make sure to check that out as well, 8 to 10 on KineticHiFi.com. It's all from the KineticHiFi.com studios. Derek, I'll see you next week, buddy.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking I might be here for another show. I do have one final question before we leave.
Shoot.
Does Jared know he's a part of the Weekend Warrior package?
Yeah.
Because I didn't for the first 2 weeks you were doing this.
Yeah, no, we told him.
Oh, okay.
He's not really a part of it. We just pitch him. That's all.
Oh. Okay. Just because otherwise it's just us three.
Yeah, it's just us three.
We just kind of seem like self-promoting losers.
Yeah, pretty much. No, we're trying to find a replacement on From the Bleachers. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for sticking around. We hope you'll come back next Saturday night, 8 to 11. It's To the Echo Radio Show, and we're going to sign off. We'll see you then.
See you then.
Bye.